At the Asylum.
You don't want to miss it this Wednesday night because, as we just heard, Kid Cash is going to take on Jerry Lynn for the X Division Championship. Not only that, Jeff Jarrett takes on Six Pac in a semifinal match for the NWA title. There will be a 4-team tag tournament for a shot at the tag team title. And then we've got Amazing Red and Jimmy Yang. We also have Tony Mamaluke and Easy Money. So don't miss it. It's all going to be here. You've got to be there. And the disciples of the new church will take on Harrison Storm. What a show this Wednesday night.
You can't miss it this Wednesday back at the Asylum. NWA Total Nonstop Action.
The Top of Wrestling with your hosts, OGM and the Professor.
Good shit. Late to every episode. Late so much, I'm going to have to buy you a pregnancy test.
Bob Rude.
I want to be a podcaster. Yay! His mama named him Kenta. I'm going to call him Kenta.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. That broadcasting school is really paying off for you.
You're so high you don't even know it.
Ahoy, my boy. You ready for a Scotch ad?
We don't know anything about him. The only thing he's got in his wallet is a bunch of names of whorehouses.
That's Flair. Probably look like Jim Duggan digging the tape out of his crotch.
Benoit, enjoy my wife.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Oh my God, mine just stopped recording. No, we're good. We're still recording.
What a dick.
I'd cease and desist me. I'd cease and desist me hard.
I need a minute to recover off that.
What kind of game is it?
War Games! Land of War! War Games!
You are impressionist.
I know. That's the only thing I've said in the last half hour.
Bark like a dog.
Oh, Jinx, holy shit. How did that actually happen? Here we go.
Good Wrestling Day! It is I, the Professor, Mark Fantasia, welcoming you back to another episode. It's a new year, same us. We're not going to say new year, new us. We like who the fuck we are. I like Wyatt. I don't know if ODM feels the same way, but we welcome you back listening on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Excited for today's show because we are going to have our big top topic to kick the year off, to kick the 2023 year off, is talking about how good and or bad 2022 really was. Everybody's starting to do their own awards, and we know that we have our own opinions on how things are going to lay out. And not only are we going to be talking that, we're still traveling down the Monday Night Wars. And this week, it's the first week of 1998. And I want to say it's the 4th, 5th, or something like that of January. This week, we got Bring It to the Table. We have a Wrestler of the Week. Got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of news, and including, and I'll just kind of bring a quick light to it right now, is what you heard in the opening, in the very beginning, is Don West at his absolute best. I used to love watching Don West and Mike Tenay as a announcing duo on TNA Impact, whether it was their weekly TV show, their weekly pay-per-views, or once they even hit mainstream TV. But unfortunately, as we've all heard, Don West did pass away this past week at the age of 59 after a battle with brain lymphoma. But man, I absolutely love that Michael Cole gave a quick nod this week on SmackDown, making a mention of Don West. And I'm like, oh, we know Vince McMahon's not there. And not to make any joke of anything, I'm more just like, good. I like it. It's a classy move. Very happy about that. But that's why you heard the intro that you did. That was all the way back from 2002, telling you matches are not coming up anytime soon. So if that got a little confusing for you. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been waiting. He's ready. we both know, kayfabe pal, what's going on in just about 4 hours from our time right now, but he's ready. ODM.
Glad you decided to do the obituary before bringing me in.
Yeah, I thought it was better, because I felt like if we did that...
the cemetery's 2 blocks to the left, okay?
Not my baby. No, I just felt like I would at least make
talk about a cold open.
An introduction as to why you heard a random 2002 hawking of a pay-per-view.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. It was between that and using... There was a moment where on Impact one night, Tenay was like, and upcoming is this, and for some reason they're like, we're going to make Don West heel tonight. It was like the Michael Cole move. And he's like, you are one big kiss ass, aren't you? I'm like, well, I don't want him in a shitty light. But no, for real, that sucks, man. Very, very young for Don West to be gone this early. I liked him as the voice of TNA. That's an original voice. I like Mike Tenay, but I hear his voice on WCW and TNA, so it's like,
sure.
You have your people who are, like, I know how much you absolutely love Excalibur, and that's why that's perfect.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, are you ready for today's Top of Wrestling's first annual award show for the whole year?
I've got my winners picked out. Interested to compare them to yours.
Agreed. I did put together only one thing, and that is the match list. If you saw, hopefully you are likely on the same page.
I'm going to think so.
Okay, good. I like that we bring things, we don't discuss this shit. We discuss personal things ahead of time before we discuss the show. And then we're like, we'll work out the kinks on the show. People get it. All right, man. News. Run with it.
Well, let's start with the news. Season 8 IFW draft is in the books. Professor...
what are you, fucking high? Did you not listen to Bring It to the Table last week? Are you fucking stupid?
Hey, no, we've got to tout my roster. We're not going to mention other people's names, but we're going to clown some fucking marks. Oh, we're going to do it.
Okay, yeah. All right, hang on. For a second there, I'm like, did we not understand last week's fucking scenario? Because I could replay it. Do you want me to cut it back in right here?
I listen, I'm one of the 7, remember?
I understand, but you want me to do like the Hager, the huh?
I'm so glad you found it.
All right, give me your roster.
Okay. I took Bianca Belair first overall. So I've got Bianca, Luke Gallows, Angelo Dawkins, and Asuka on Raw. On SmackDown, I got Braun Strowman, Ronda Rousey, Ashanti, the Adonis.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Thank you. Rey Mysterio.
Oh, it's been a while since
it has been a while. Rey Mysterio. For NXT, I got Braun Breaker and Roxanne Perez, so I have the 2 champs in NXT. Okay. Alba Fire, and then I took a dart. And again, we're going to jump ahead to the news on this one. And I got it cleared. Dragon Lee. I thought
nice
that
you
was
got
a
it cleared.
Good pick.
You know why? Because there's someone there that's S and the D of you. Hey, man, we're still cool, right, buddy?
Exactly.
We're all still good.
Exactly.
Right?
Hey, you're bringing them up more than I am.
Go fuck yourself. You brought the whole subject up.
AEW, Max Caster, because somebody drafted Anthony Bowens. And somebody said, he who shall not be named said, or somebody said, oh, man, you're going to get promos for when he raps on the way to the ring. I said, well, that's not the guy who raps, but I'll draft him.
God damn it, this is why you're in last place and you pissed off and argued with so many people that you got yourself in the second place by fucking with everybody. All right, fuck it. Fuck it. Please give me real shit. No, we're done. I was in a good mood. Don't make me in a not good mood.
What'd I do?
Do you have more people you have to name?
Well, I'll say Max Caster, Powerhouse Hobbs, Athena, Tony Storm, and my favorite, Konosuke Takeshita. I figured it out.
Enough.
That's how you say his name, Takeshita. But I want to point out one of the newcomers.
I think it was Takeshita.
Yeah, Takeshita is always better. I just got to point this out. This one person drafted some really... I've seen some bad drafting. I'm going to throw out a few names that team number 10 drafted. You ready?
Wait, team number 10?
Yeah, I'm not going to...
Do I even know who team number 10 is? Or is this
so.
Hugh not shall be named?
One of the new ones. No, one of the new ones.
Oh, okay, can't wait.
Yeah. Randy Orton. Who may never...
Hang on. Stop. Is that their number 1?
I don't know if it was a number 1. It's the first one they drafted from Raw, though.
Fuck me. Okay. Awesome. Man, I like that RK, bro.
Big E.
Jesus Christ. Did he read the disabled list? I'm disabled.
And then,
are you shitting me?
And then,
oh my God, please tell me. Please don't tell me it's like Owen Hart.
CM Punk.
No, oh my God, no way. This guy doesn't watch wrestling.
And the best part was all these new people were like, they would say a name, they're like, oh man, I love them. Oh, Penelope Ford, she's awesome. I love her. You fucking Mark. That's why you're not going to amount to shit.
Bro.
Oh, God.
Okay, you know what? About
on,
3 minutes ago, I said, stop, let's not talk about
this. It was worth a laugh.
You redeemed it. That's some good shit.
I had to tell you that.
Big E, Punk, RK, bro. Oh my God.
They might win the tag titles back. You never know.
I swear to God, I don't have any more of a comeback. Can we just move on, please, to some real news?
All right. So FTR loses the AAA World Tag Team titles. Lose them to Dragon Lee and Dralistico, and who immediately vacates it because Dragon Lee signs with NXT. It definitely seems like they're starting to take the titles off of FTR. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because
what you brought up last week.
Yeah, if they're going back, I mean, they got to start dropping those titles.
I'm kind of feeling the same way because I'm like, man, first they dropped the ROH titles back to the Briscoes, then AAA.
Bro.
Today, right now, is Wrestle Kingdom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the card last week. Could they be dropping them right now?
I think so.
We don't know. You know, to go to and
Yoshihashi.
So, oh man, it's be pretty funny to see if they actually go all the way back to WWE after all said and done.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. There's so many, because if you want to just start throwing the spaghetti at the wall to see if it sticks, you could say,
I like throwing the pans.
What if FTR comes in? That they come in, they pull a Charlotte Flair, and they immediately take the titles from the Usos. And then what if CM Punk comes in, and it's CM Punk and the Revival versus the Bloodline? Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's a fucking chance in hell that's going to happen. Again, spaghetti, wall, stick.
Well, I mean, since you already brought it up, yeah, Charlotte did that this past week on SmackDown out of nowhere.
I woke up the next morning, I looked at Twitter, I'm like, when the fuck did this happen?
I don't know what they're...
I don't know.
Lost it. I swear to God, I don't know why. It just, out of nowhere. You have a long feud going with... You could have very easily just turned Rousey into Baszler versus Rousey because of how she's been her sidekick, helping her out, and all that shit. Boom. Turn. Match at Mania. Baszler's the face. Whatever. Hang on. That was me spitballing on the fly.
That was a turd.
Yeah. This right here, you're like, that's the pan. That's the stick on the wall. That's the one.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it took this long to team Baszler up with her. That should have been right from the fucking get-go.
Right. So, what else happened this week?
I don't know. You put something in there. Speaking of NXT.
Well, let's go back. We did miss something here. Yeah, you talk about Dragon Lee signed with WWE. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated the Great Muta at Noah's The New Year on New Year's Day, 2023.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean snowballed? He likes to snowball it where it goes from one his mouth back into yours. How do you know about it? We did it. You didn't say that you slept with him. I didn't say that. And that's how we find out it's 37 dicks. Look it's so funny because everybody, and I'm going to get to Muta's remarks in a second, but people are like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of gay, blah, 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 whatever. That Nakamura sucked the green mist out of Muta's mouth and used it against him, which, yes, I'll call snowballing, but at the same point, greenballing. But for real, that's a tremendous end. I think that's smart. I'm like, has that ever been done? Yes, it's stupid. It's homophobic to a lot of people, but also at the same point, if you knew that the guy had like bullets in his mouth that could kill him, wouldn't you suck the bullet? You know what I'm saying, man? You would suck it, right?
Let me get this right. You pull, I suck. Is there any money involved in it for me?
Oh, damn it if I didn't hit myself with this poison dart.
And there was that whole damn political snafu in the NAM and
by Mrs. Esterhaus. God, easily one of Dan
Don't
Aykroyd's most underrated roles of all time. God, I love that one. All right, let's get back on track here.
Yeah,
then in a press conference afterwards, someone said, "Wow, Muda, yada yada yada, Nakamura sucked your mouth, grabbed the mist, sprayed it in your face." And he said, "I don't know. Maybe he's queer, or maybe he's a faggot. I don't know." And I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah,
whoa.
and then he left. He left like right after that. He said thank you, and he left.
Because everybody gave him the dead stare, like, no. And he's like, oh. And you may not have heard it, but there was a narration over the top and goes, and that's when he knew right there that he fucked up. No.
Yeah,
I don't.
Weird.
Well, hang on. My question is this. He didn't say that Nakamura is. He said maybe. And he's not using it necessarily derogatory. Maybe he's saying maybe he is gay for me. Maybe. Is it wrong? How? All right, man. What other kind of news we got going on?
Yeah, let's just dance right past that one. So
wait, I will say, great match. Muda had an awesome entrance, and fucking Nakamura. It was his WWE entrance, and he had the violin player there. It so sick. I mean, I was like, I wish he would be at Wrestle Kingdom today. I'm like, you're kind of in the same vicinity.
Yeah, you never know, man. Never know.
I'd rather that than Sasha Banks showing up.
Well, she's gonna show up.
And her going, I'm a boss. Yeah, no one sees your hands right there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what else we got?
Yeah, nobody needed to. Hey, why don't you do me a favor and tell me and the listeners all about Vinny Wasco?
So last week during the interview with Johnny Butabi, we were talking about one guy that did a quick security spot.
Oh, yeah.
During SummerSlam weekend, right?
Yeah.
He's actually a now NXT referee, moved up from Best of the West and that California scene. And it's Vinny Wasco. He's a referee in NXT. Butabi messaged me later, and I go, God damn it, that was the name. Because if he had said it, I would have known it. You know, like, but neither of us could figure it out on the fly during the interview.
Right.
Huge fan of last week's interview. That
was great.
I don't know about you, but the elephant in the room match.
Funny, you like the most inappropriate thing. Paraplegic.
I will say that I did not know if I'm trying to breathe. No, I knew it, and I'm like, how do I bring it up? Because it was very true that I wanted to be like, hey man, do you know that when I met you face to face, I didn't know that you were missing 90% of one hand. And I'm like, how do I bring this up? And he goes, for the listeners out there, the wood shop incident is that I only have one finger left. I'm like, okay, good. Because I don't know how I was going to say this right here. I'm like, we're dancing around, but I'm like, but the making the best out of it. No bullshit, for real. Making the absolute best out of it. And the only guy who can fuck with you is a guy who's actually lost limbs or anything in his life, and you guys have some fun. But dude, champion wrestling, I mean, I didn't notice it. That tells you something. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's
out of curiosity,
cool.
Is it the same guy that was in that AEW Battle Royale back in the day?
No.
Okay, so there's two of them.
Correct, but no. Yeah, correct. Yeah, on that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my favorite part though of the interview was really finding out that a little kid got to give a chop to a wrestler. Butabi gets a pin him. Yeah, I helped coach when the wrestling matches pass, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, oh my God, that's my life. I wish I was him. I'm like, that. Yeah. If you guys missed it, great interview last week. Check it back out. But that's who it was. Vinny Wasco is who we were referring to that did make a main roster debut, quickly doing the security guard on the SummerSlam weekend, but now is a full-time NXT referee.
Sweet. It's pretty awesome.
All right. Something else I put in here. This past week on... It's funny because things grew today, even after I put this in the news. But this past week, the Acclaimed, they did a rap where basically making reference that Jarrett is still living off of Kurt Angle's money, if you will, okay, because of marrying Karen and the divorce settlement and everything. Well, she tweeted Tony Khan, get your guys in order, blah, 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 it's unacceptable. I'm going to go ahead and obviously assume it's full-blown, work, and that's fine. But I'm like, oh my God, this just became Impact. It's TNA. Oh my God, they're going to bring Claire. They're going to bring the baby.
You saw Kurt's response, right?
Kurt, oh my God, yes. Go ahead, bring it up,
It was
please.
something along the lines of trying to get heat 20 years after the fact, hashtag get over it.
The problem is that she wrote, oh my God, something today. She hashtag like Dawn Marie and Kelly. Meaning like that he had a tag team match with them at some point, But it's, I don't know, the whole thing is crazy, but I'm like, I see her on TV, I'm not going to be happy. Yeah. I didn't like her on TNA TV. Made me turn off. I was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I'd rather see Dixie Carter on TV again.
Kevin Nash sitting in her lap, drinking wine.
The last couple of bits are you, I believe.
All right. Well, Dax Harwood, speaking of FTR and the whole CM Punk thing and all that stuff, went on Twitter and issued a plea, said, this is my plea to all four guys. Please find a way to make it work. If we can make it work, we can set up the future of professional wrestling for a long time, and we can change the course of professional wrestling for a very long time. When you think about it, unselfishly, we're doing this for 20, 30 years down the road, so guys and girls can make a living. Punk replied with, duh.
I fucking love him. I swear, I love him. That's amazing. It's just good for you.
And Dax makes a very good point, but at the same time, again, look who you're talking to. You're talking to the Bucks. And I'd even take Omega out of it, but Omega's part of that whole thing. And they're one of the reasons, along with Chris Jericho, that AEW's in the shitter. And until they're stripped of their EVP status and they're just talent, and Tony gets a real booker in there, that ship is going to continue to sink. So, speaking of sinking AEW talent, Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello were stripped of their AAA intergender mixed tag team titles. They were scheduled to defend the titles on a AAA show, but Conan came to the ring and said they've been stripped of the belts due to their excessive demands, and that somebody from AAA is on their way to the U.S. to collect the titles. Okay. Mm-hmm. Next, AJ Styles, unfortunately, got an injury at a house show. I believe he broke his ankle. At the time, they weren't sure what it was, but yeah, referee had to throw up the X. He had to be helped backstage by Gallows and Anderson. It sucks because Styles, hasn't really been doing anything major, but at the same time, he's still a staple. He's still one of the best wrestlers in WWE, if not the world. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Gallows and Anderson now that Styles is going to be out for a while.
I also saw that Bray Wyatt had his first official match at Madison Square Garden against Jinder Mahal.
Yep.
And broke a fucking finger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thankfully, that's all it was.
I will give you injury prone. If on your first match back you break a finger, that's Jesus. That's just, I think it's a prone thing. And your body's like, what's the least amount that we could just fuck up on you right now?
That's what happens when you try to hinder the gender.
Amen.
There's a report from Meltzer speaking back to CM Punk that Chris Jericho, and it's funny because the way that it's being reported is that Chris Jericho and other top talents are telling the AEW locker room that they'll ensure Punk doesn't return, which is funny because there's a lot of wrestlers in AEW that want him to return. You've got a toxic culture led by Jericho and the Bucks. I'm not going to hammer that home anymore. Fuck off, Jericho. Go home. We'll talk about it later during the awards, I'm sure.
I think that he is he's trying to work people.
Yeah. Well, he should stop.
Yeah. He's not good at it.
Yeah, last piece of news is kind of just a result. We had talked about John Cena returning to team with Kevin Owens to take on Roman and Sammy on SmackDown. KO and Cena get the win.
Yeah, most of John Cena showed up.
Both John Cenas?
Well, I meant most of him. Looks like the back of his head was missing some of his normal hair.
Yeah, his haircut.
It's funny because
dramatically over the
one of
years.
my favorite things. Okay, so he's getting a little bit of a yarmulke in the back of the head right there. That's going on, losing his hair. But one of my favorite things is that someone wrote something about Orange Cassidy is better than John Cena or something like that. It was a meme, and then someone wrote, "Yo, John Cena's bald spot trended more than Orange Cassidy is in his entire life."
Sounds about right to me.
All right, man. We're going to go to our next segment, which I'm excited about because this will kind of explain my next part. Hope you do me a favor and refresh the doc ODM. Let's go to the table.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
All right, so this week, all right, I'm not going to lie. I had a wrestler on deck this week, fully researched, ready to go. And I know this is bringing it to the table. I know this is not my professor's wrestler of the week. Believe me, I know. I had a guy all set and ready to go, researched. And then I watched Raw from, 25 years ago this week, and I was like, I feel like it's just not the week to celebrate this guy. I'm glad you're laughing. We'll get to it when we get there. So all my fucking notes and everything went right out the window. I was done, and I go, I don't know what to do. So we'll explain after this what our next part is, but I thought that you'd appreciate to know that there's no wrestler of the week this week because they done fucked up 25 years ago to the date.
You might have to wait a few more months before you can reuse them.
It's so fucking true. I swear, I was like, I can't do this for a while. Like, I need him to maybe, like, we're going to have to do this, 10 years from now.
Not even. You're going to have to wait between this and 7.
Good shit. Okay. What are you bringing?
All right. So, remember last week I talked about the new documentary called Woo, Becoming Ric Flair on the Cock?
Yes.
Decided to watch it. I'd rather see something more in vein of the Dark Side of the Ring or of the HBO documentary that they did. That was really good. Do you remember when HBO did one on Flair a while ago? Right around the time they did the Andre one? That was a good documentary because this one, listen, I've said this repeatedly. WWE, no matter how shitty their booking is, no matter how low they go, their production values are through the roof. They're better than some movie studios. I mean, their production, their video packages, the way they edit things, I mean, it is great. They can tell you the story, the backstory in a couple minutes, but they suck at documentaries, and they are really good at pushing the narrative. I got done watching it, and I was like, I knew all that shit already, and you just tried to hype him up. And then the fucking credits start rolling, produced by 3 names, the top one, Kevin Dunn.
Oh, man. I was going to say Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn. I swear to God. That's awesome.
It's, like if you watch okay, let's say we're watching Dark Side of the Ring, right? And they're talking about a wrestler. And then at the end of the episode, they'll play some hype music and they'll show some of the best clips of that wrestler just to kind of remind you that, it sucks that this happened to him, but he was still the man, right? You do that. They did that every 15 minutes in the documentary, every 10 minutes. It was just like a fucking super cut of Ric Flair dancing around, people repeating his promos. It was fucking a waste of my time.
I'm sorry. What network was this on?
The Cock.
There you go. And who provided this documentary?
Yeah, well, I held out. Well, honestly, I thought it was just something. I thought it was a coincidence. I'd never heard officially it was from WWE. I just thought it's like, well, WWE Network's on there, so we'll put it on Peacock.
But you went to the WWE Network section to find this thing, correct?
No, actually, I didn't. It was right on the homepage for Peacock.
If you, went to the library.
I'm sure it would have been in there, yeah. Again, didn't know that. Wish I did. Wouldn't have watched. I probably still would have watched it.
Well, that's all right. Hey, you know what? It's funny because I remember watching the rise and fall of ECW, and it was one of the best DVDs that they ever made. It was so good. And then the rise and fall of WCW came out, and Crusby, myself, and that boy, we were all like, all right, let's all watch it. We all watched the documentary, and I'm like, I know this shit. I knew every bit of this.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I'm like, oh, man. It was poorly produced by WWE, and it happens that way.
Yep.
So you've seen what I've put in the doc. Do you think we're ready?
I mean, if you really want to know, there's only one way to find out.
There is only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen. We have our brand new segment that we teased last season. It's the 4 W's. It's watching wrestling with Weezy. That's right. It's a buddy of ours who has dabbled in his time, and we want to show him some of the best of shit, some of the worst of shit, some of the most fucked up things. But we want to dip his toes into a little bit of what wrestling has been. Check out this most recent segment with ODM hanging out with Weezy, watching wrestling with Weezy.
If you don't know who that is,
Fucking man bun.
it's Chris Jericho.
Next slide.
And that is what it's like watching wrestling with Weezy.
I've seen enough.
Hey, do me a favor. Turn the fucking music off.
Oh. Am I supposed to do that? Don't act like you don't
My
like
name's Mike Wiesner, and I like music. Let's set up the scene. Okay. Never mind young Chris Jericho, who you apparently don't care for too much. And that's perfectly fine. I disagree. But that's neither here nor there. So, Goldberg. This match is February 1998. Goldberg's been in WCW for about 6 months, so he's still kind of new. But they've already inflated his win record, right? Remember the undefeated streak he had? At this point, it's 173 wins, no losses. He didn't wrestle half of 173 matches in that time. They just inflated the numbers.
It's just not news to me.
Right. A little recap. We do have 6 listeners, so
Okay.
I like to fill them in. He's facing... All right, so his basic match is, you know what it is. He comes out, he spears somebody, he hits the jackhammer, he wins. It's less than a minute. That's what he does. Every week, right? He's got a match against Steven Regal. Steven Regal's been in the business 10 years at this point. He is a classic mat technician. A lot of reversals, a lot of holds. At this point in his career, he's already on the outs with WCW. He's going to get released soon. And Regal basically says, well, you know what? I'm not going to just go out and let this guy beat me. So this is what happens.
Happy birthday, Mark.
I don't even like wrestling.
I do like wrestling. You know what?
Oh, this is when they were calling him Bill Goldberg. I didn't even remember that.
I thought his name was Herbie. Oh, he's gonna kick the shit out of this dude.
See, that's what's supposed to happen.
Well, it's gold dust and pink.
Gold dust and pink.
Told you.
He's not wearing pink.
No, the other dude is. Fucking
no,
weird.
That's magenta, bro.
Well, you know what the fuck I'm saying. He's wearing purple socks. You ain't gonna win wearing purple socks. I mean, it's that simple.
He's not gonna win. He's playing gold. He's fighting Goldberg.
No, well, that's besides the point.
That's not besides the point. That is the
You ain't
point.
gonna fucking win wearing purple socks. See how much bush is in the background there?
What the fuck are you talking about?
But look at the bush.
Maybe this was in Georgia.
Does it?
Oh, fuck you, bitch.
Son of a
Fuck
bitch.
you, bitch.
Alright, I'm glad I waited. Dude in the purple's gonna kick his... Oh, no, he's not.
So basically what's happening here
I
is...
gotcha.
You want to shush me on an audio podcast?
No. I mean, kinda. I'm trying to watch the fucking match.
So this is kind of new.
Whatever. No, fucking play with it.
But since we went with Goldberg, I figured we'd finish with Goldberg. little backstory on this. I'm sure you know who Brock Lesnar is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do.
So, Brock Lesnar is champion. He's dominant force, as he always is. And out of retirement comes Goldberg. Starts showing up on Monday Night Raw, starts cutting promos, starts having fucking pull-apart brawls with Lesnar. They fight at Survivor Series 2016. And actually, you know what? I might be mistaken. Actually, you know what? Lesnar's not the champion. I take that back. Doesn't matter, though. So it's Lesnar-Goldberg. They had the match once before. Lesnar was quitting after that, and Goldberg didn't give a fuck, so it was a shit match. The fans got cheated. So here it is, all these years later.
Kind of like Austin.
Yeah.
These guys. Let's not go there.
These guys should be retired, whatever. Okay? Goldberg's making a special appearance. He's fighting Brock Lesnar. This match is going to be like a video game, and Lesnar's going to win, right? Because Lesnar's been there, and Goldberg's making a special appearance. There's no way Goldberg's beating Brock Lesnar. Everything's $300.
Fucking 300. Jesus Christ. Quit slamming the fucking door.
Figure it out.
I can't even yell it. So we gonna see this fight, or is this a
It's coming up.
Or you want to jerk me off? On
again, if I can get a little recap of what the fucking
No, I
beef
got
is.
you. No, this is old though. This is shit that I like.
Jump, 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 jump.
So, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome. I can't wait to hear some of this shit. I feel like it's like Mr. Science Theater.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's try it another night where we're not 6 beers deep in
Why
already.
Oh, this is good.
Get it back. Oh, yeah, hey, fucking the thing.
Pussy.
Pussy.
Man, I kick his ass.
Brock Lesnar?
When we see him in Fairport, I'll fuck him up.
You kick Brock Lesnar's
Fuck
ass?
yeah. Come to Fairport, motherfucker. Watch what happens.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just checking, man. I mean, you know.
Let's fucking challenge him to a duel. In Fairport? Fuck yeah. Catch me outside, motherfucker.
My big question is he going to just smash your skull into the pavement?
Probably.
Or is he going to break your arms and legs so you could sit there and suffer?
What are they chanting?
Goldberg. Oh, well, actually, I call him Oldberg. But
Oldberg?
Oldberg.
Yeah.
This is his first match.
This is pretty awesome. He's wearing his wife's fucking underpants. I mean, that's fucking savage right there. And Goldberg's gonna win. He's gonna kick the fuck out of him. He's wearing a fucking G-string.
He's not wearing a G-string.
He is.
That's not a G-string.
No,
Do you know what a fucking G-string is? That's not a G-string.
Yes, I do.
It's her boxer briefs.
But so what? I'm just saying, he's wearing his wife's underwear. That's awesome.
Yeah, his wife's booty shorts.
Yeah. I would. I'd wear them.
Who's going to win?
Lesnar. The introduction was way too much for Goldberg.
This is his first time wrestling in 12 years.
I don't care.
Okay, well, I think it's kind of relevant.
Wait, so Goldberg's going to win because he's coming out of retirement?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's.
I thought the introduction was how I followed wrestling is the people that are in their spotlight usually lose.
Really
Lost.
depends. We're from Georgia.
What part? South Central? Still say Lesnar's going to win it. Yep. I'll find his dick here in a minute. He'll win it. Son of a bitch.
This was one of the most.
Hold up. I got you. All right.
Nobody expected this to happen. It was a minute and a half long. Nobody expected this to happen.
Well,
It was fucking great. I don't even like Goldberg that much. But it was
Lesnar
great.
didn't do shit. Like, he literally just took a beating.
But that's the idea. Yeah, he laid down. He took a beating. Everybody takes a beating.
No,
sometimes.
I got you. Now people are getting fucking seriously hurt and shit.
Yeah, because they think they're acrobats. That's a whole different story altogether.
They're aristocrats.
Oh, an aristocrat. Ba-dum-bam. He's got a fucking pager.
Fanny pack.
And a pager.
And a fucking fanny
And a
pack.
pager.
And she's got run DMC for the fucking security. I mean, I'd fucking hire her.
Nation of Domination.
Fuck yeah. Why don't you fucking play a match that we can talk about?
You didn't talk at all during that one.
Because I liked it.
Yeah.
Presented to you by Slim Jam. Step to Slim Jam.
Halloween Havoc 1997. You know who that is, right?
Mysterio.
Yeah.
Why is he purple, though?
So
That's fucking stupid.
So his
But
match.
anyways.
Okay, first of all, it's not stupid. It's pretty fucking sick.
No, it's fucking stupid.
So, it's not stupid
it's
at
my
all.
opinion.
What the fuck is wrong
goddammit.
with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm...
So my name is Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
All right.
It's a mask match. So if his opponent wins, he's gonna have to lose his mask. So he's got like some shit on, you know, because they're gonna tease it.
It's fucking stupid.
So much. Yeah,
Eddie Guerrero. No, man. You guys back just.
This is a good fucking match.
No, I know it is.
This is one of the best matches in WCW ever.
Yeah, I know he is and shit. But where's the fucking mask? You said it was a mask match.
Mysterio. If Eddie wins, he's got to fucking.
That's fucking stupid.
Gotta take the mask off.
That's it?
Well, if Ray wins, he wins the title.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Yeah, that kind of makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Cheers.
Yes, my bad.
Oh, that's gonna resonate.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I'm gonna edit it out anyway. You know, the whole segment's not gonna be like the whole hour and a half that we were talking.
I hope so.
It's gonna be like 5 minutes.
I'd like to listen to the fucking whole
It's
hour
gonna
and a
be
half.
5 minutes. This will not make air probably, but at least we
So
can
what?
fucking.
Can you make it fucking? Can you record? Put it on fucking something so I can listen to it?
Oh,
It's
yeah, of
hilarious.
course.
This is stupid.
All right, so call it. Who's gonna win?
Oh, man, I don't even fucking know. You got the fucking Barney of the fucking wrestling world. I think Eddie Guerrero's gonna win it. He looks like he's in good shape right now.
It's before the fucking steroids kicked in. Too soon? Sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
So Joe's gonna take a piss. I still say Eddie Guerrero's gonna win this match. Wait a minute. How the fuck did he get hurt? They both had the... I know. It's fucking wrestling. Well, fucker kicked out. It's the fucking...
Guerrero's been in control most of the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for that little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, shut up. Fucking guy in a purple costume is gonna win the fucking match. Oh, this pisses me off.
Why does it piss you off? Everything pisses you off. That has nothing to do with anything.
No. I'm gonna take your mask off.
That is very serious for luchadors. You don't fuck around with that shit.
What? Mask?
Yeah. It's very important in luchadors.
Well, I mean, if it's a mask match, you know, if you wear a mask to the mask
Oh, no,
match,
100%. 100%.
the fuck you do with that?
Yeah. But the thing is, he's trying to rip it off now. You got to win the match before you can rip it off.
So he's being a pussy, is what you're saying.
He's being a dick. He's being a heel.
Right. El Wapo's still gonna win it.
I love that. Eddie Guerrero for sure forever now be known as El Wapo.
I don't know. Purple Princess here might fucking get up and do something. I feel like I watched this live, actually, at some point in my life.
It was 97.
Yeah, probably.
It was pay-per-view, though, so you probably didn't. Unless you were at somebody's house who bought it. I'm guessing
No,
you
but
didn't buy Halloween Havoc 97.
No, we pirated it.
Oh, well, that's a different story. Yeah, your dad is kind of shady.
He's very shady.
That's
Very
going
shady.
in.
El Santo?
El Santo is like the Hulk Hogan
That's
of Mexico.
bullshit. I don't believe it. Hey, Jefe. Give me a beer, por favor.
Cerveza.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that too. The cemetery's 2 blocks to the left. Tell a chef this is slow-grade dog food, okay?
This is so stupid. No, seriously. Like, because the costume. Listen, it's a good match. I like the fucking match. Oh, no. I like the match. I just don't like the fucking purple and the fucking weirdness.
Man, that's... Get down with the weirdness.
The match is great. But this guy still hopping around in fucking purple with fucking, purple puss in boots. And he's awesome, but no. Divin.
Divin! Divin!
Son of a bitch. See, yeah, this is shit that I like, man. kind of got a hurt on for it a little bit.
All the things I thought you'd say, that's not one of them.
I'll tell you what, though. Getting the chicks fucking in the wrestling, holy fucking smokes.
That's when the whores come in.
That's when the whores come in. Shaking it for the...
For the menfolk?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, but I didn't see that coming, though. That's incredible, man. Like, that, man, the shit they do these days, man.
They're acrobats. Like, this was acrobatic for back then, but still.
Absolutely.
Like, it told a story. It's not just coordinated moves. It's like they told a story.
It is coordinated moves, but yes.
It is,
like,
but not...
Oh,
Eddie said, fuck
there
that.
You go. Right there, you do this shit nowadays. Fucking lawsuit. Call William Matar shit. Fuck that.
You know, the best part is, you know, back in the day, you know, we've been watching the old shit. A lot of fans will run at the ring. And the thing is, the wrestlers don't fuck around. They'll stomp a mud hole like a legitimate. They will kick you in the head until security gets to you. But the thing is, the refs are the worst. The refs will fucking come over and kick these dudes in the head. It's fucking amazing. What can you say?
That's a good match.
Solid match.
Solid. What's next?
Oh, what's Mean Gene? Yeah, let's, dude. If Mean Gene's there, we gotta at least listen to it. I think he's pushing the hotline.
Is it still active?
No, that's why it says no longer active.
I'll call it right now.
And that is what it's like watching wrestling with Weezy.
I enjoy it. I really did. I mean, I thought we were going to watch another one.
Gives you a hard on, does it?
Well, that match did. That's why I said, what the fuck? I told you what the fucking thing did. What's wrong with you?
Wrench around, wrench it off.
That's what I'm saying.
We're done.
Okay, you know what? Kayfabe, pal. Today's his birthday.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah, I probably should message him.
But you know what, though? He's probably feeling pretty as decent right now as he was during that recording.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's probably just sitting home palming it right now anyway.
Professional?
Yeah, this was it was an adventure to say the least. It'll be fun. You know, I think we can work out recording in a way that we can kind of maybe alternate weeks with this segment. Get them to watch some really good matches and then just some funny shit, like you said, all that stuff. You
have to introduce things like you show them like, okay, you got your Savage and Steamboat, right?
Yep,
you
that's
got
on
some
the
good
list.
classics, but then
It's
you're
on the
like,
list.
here's Mankind and Taker at Hell in a Cell. You know what I mean? Like random shit that's like once you're ready, you're not ready for this.
Right.
You know,
Well, I told
some real crazy shit.
Yeah, as you heard in there, we watched Guerrero and Mysterio from Halloween Havoc '97. Nice. And if you also listened, you heard him. They got his dick hard, so that was a good thing, I guess. Unfortunately, I was sitting next to him. But like Omega Okada, he doesn't even know what the fuck New Japan is. So right.
It's so funny because, oh man, it recently when I went to Chicago for work a couple months back, I was there and by God, it was a rough night. But we started talking and someone said something about wrestling. And it was like a two truths and a lie or whatever it was. And I said, I'm a very hardcore Japanese wrestling fan. And people were like, that's got to be a lie. And that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard. And they were like, and I was like, no, I'm a very big fan of not hardcore wrestling. I'm a hardcore fan of Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you shitting me? So we got into conversation. I'm like, I can promise you, I can put a match on right now between a couple of guys. And I was thinking like Omega Okada. I'm like, and you're going to go, God, is this partial UFC? I'm like, some of the hits, some of the moves, how things go. I'm like, you see how things go. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's taking a fucking toll on your body. And Japan does it a completely different level than WWE does. And I mean, look at the matches we've seen between, who was it, Naito and Ibushi. We're like, well, they're going to kill themselves this weekend. You know, so it's a completely different thing, and I love watching. So I'd like to see or hear Weezy's take on that when he finally gets to seeing some of the New Japan stuff. But yeah, that's a little hopefully, a little taste of what we'll be doing.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't, not 12 beers in when we do it, because That one was a little bit rough. I don't mind, you know.
I think you may need to use the
I think
TOW form of chicken nuggets.
I think my exact words to him, I says, we're going to turn it from 11 down to maybe 9.
Problem is that dude idles at fucking 12.
No, he's a lot calmer these days. He's gotten calmer with age. I remember you used to have to warn people when you introduced him to him. Now he's good. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you know what? I'm excited because 2 big segments left to this show. We are starting the beginning of 1998 with the Monday Night Wars, and we also got a top topic. Let's first get into the Monday Night Wars.
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Wait a minute, Doc. What are you talking about? What happens to us in the future? What, do we become assholes or something?
Give me a hell yeah.
You want a war? You're going to get me.
Mick Foley is going to win their world title.
Has been paid for by the New World Order.
Come on, Vince. Step into the ring.
My God, the battle lines have been drawn.
Generation X invades WCW tonight. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Have a nice day. We got you. Oh yeah.
Anything here, but you see, a lot of you may have seen my commentary last week on Raw where I said there needs to be more respect for tradition of wrestling in the WWF. There needs to be more respect for some real good old-fashioned competition in the WWF. So, being as nobody else was going to do anything about it, I decided to take matters into my own hands. And at great personal expense to myself, I have flown these 2 gentlemen to be here tonight. I'd like to introduce Mr. Howard Brody and Mr. Dennis Coraluzzo. They are respectively the president and vice president of the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. The NWA is the oldest and at one time was the largest governing and sanctioning body for professional wrestling anywhere in the world. The NWA numbers among its past champions men like Lou Thez, Jack Briscoe, Harley Race, a lot of great names, and the NWA stands for tradition. And that's why I've asked these men to be here, and they have generously and graciously offered to anoint the winner of the next contest as the new NWA North American Heavyweight Champion. And at this point, I would like to introduce the contestant.
I'm out here to apologize for my actions on Nitro last week. Those weren't the actions of the real Chris Jericho. The real Chris Jericho is the man standing in front of you, talking to you right now. The real Chris Jericho is a man idolized by millions across this country and across the globe. I realize I'm a true role model for you people. A lot of you people look up to me, and I apologize.
The Heartbreak Kid has got a casket match coming up at the Royal Rumble with The Undertaker. Now, I have beaten this man time and time again, but he is such a glutton for punishment, he doesn't know when to stop. So, Undertaker, at the Royal Rumble, the Heartbreak Kid is gonna prove that you are nothing more than a loser.
2 things about the sounds that you just heard heading into this Monday Night Wars segment this week. 1, Jericho losing it. I mean, I feel like if you're in a losing streak, you should just lose your shit like that more often. No one just does that anymore. You know, it's just, I like that. 2nd, fuck it. Why not, Cornette? Let's throw another title in the mix. From a defunct promotion that no one really even knows is happening right now in 1998. Just random, but as soon as I saw where it was going, I remembered. Why don't you break down what happened on Raw and Nitro? January 5th, 1998.
Indeed. Austin opens up with an Austin promo as he's walking through the parking lot into the arena. He's talking about being in the Rumble. He knows he's a marked man, and he's going to do something about it. And boy, does he.
So, as we have this moment, did you happen to notice? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Then you get the dogs barking, the cage. You get Austin walking through a warehouse with fire flames everywhere. The intro to Raw. You still get Bret Hart fighting in there. It's still the body and clothing and everything of Bret Hart. And Sid. Just had to throw that out there.
Interesting. Honestly, once I saw it switched over and I watched it that first time, I always skip past it. So,
sure. Well, that's why I do homework.
Every second counts, buddy.
In my world, it does.
We open up with Farouk versus Farouk versus Ken Shamrock. Rock ends up coming down to ringside, and he has a little powwow with Kama and D'Lo during the match. D'Lo gets a chair, hands it over to Kama, who sticks it up into the corner, but Shamrock reverses it, throws Farouk into it. Goes right into an ankle lock for the tap out. Farouk and Kama start arguing. Rock goes into the ring. Austin out of nowhere runs in, stuns Shamrock, then stuns The Rock. Austin leaves through the crowd. I mean, it's a good way to start off the episode,
You already know where we're going, the whole episode. And I will say I like the ending as to how the chair was put up, where Farouk ran into it in the corner, but it was all chest. It wasn't where you had to take a headshot. It was him running right into it with his chest and taking him out. I thought it was I'm like, why don't, literally while watching, I'm like, how is that the first time I've really seen that only?
Right, because it's not over the top. It doesn't grab people's attention. But when you think about it from a storyline perspective, it makes sense because all it did was stun him enough for Shamrock to get the ankle lock on.
Well, because some people could take 57 sledgehammer hits to the head and still keep going.
Some people can. Doesn't mean they should. I mean, I could look at videos of Tessa Blanchard taking a shit for fans, but I'm not going to do it.
And I can mark it guaranteed, but, would you rather have the Tooth Fairy bang your daughter? Or whatever it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I'm just going to check the specs.
My version
on the
was better. Let's go on.
Let's move on. Next slide. We get a teaser on Don King being on later to speak about negotiations. And then, as you mentioned, we get Cornette coming to the ring. He is with a couple dudes, specifically Howard Brody and Dennis Corluzzo. They are the president and the VP of NWA. And Cornette says there needs to be more respect for competition within the WWF. So we are debuting a brand new NWA title, because the NWA stands for tradition. And this next match will declare the first winner of the NWA North American title.
And this title will look nothing like any other NWA title that has ever existed.
Pretty much. So we get who Cornette announces as Barry Windham, but the Chiron still says Blackjack Windham, which is hilarious. I like the Cornette's like, I'm not calling him that. Who is... yeah, it's pretty much what it was. Jeff Jarrett is the other competitor. And Kevin Kelly gets all pouty about an NWA title being put up on the line on WWF TV. Cornette ends up joining commentary. Towards the end of the match, Corluzzo goes over. He starts distracting the ref. Cornette goes into the ring, hits Windham with the racket. Jarrett gets the win. And then Austin just runs in and stuns Jarrett and grabs a chair and heads to the back.
It's funny when you I can't wait for the segment to end. Oh, shit, Austin should be coming in, too.
Right. Hey, you're going to end it. You might as well get some payoff to it.
I'm good with it.
One of Austin's previous victims, Shamrock, is backstage, cuts a promo on Austin. You're a marked man, and I'm a marked man.
And I don't know
I don't think that's how it goes, but okay, fine. Sunny, in one of her finest outfits to date, is in a schoolgirl outfit, complete with lollipop. She's your guest ring announcer for Sniper and Recon versus Skull and 8-Ball. They fight, and it's a brawl afterwards. Yeah. DX comes to the ring. Triple H is in the wheelchair, and then he gets on the crutches to get into the ring. I don't know if this was on purpose or if it was just the style at the time, but did you happen to notice that Shawn Michaels was dressed an awful lot like Paul Heyman?
Wow, it's really funny you say that, because in his promo later with how he's talking, even in that, I'm like, wow, you kind of, the backwards hat, the jacket, all of it. Yeah, you're right. He
looked like fucking Paul Heyman. It was weird. Triple H cuts a promo on Owen. He calls out Owen to the ring, but Owen gets on the Tron, cuts a Blackheart promo. And Triple says, Owen, watch your back. Kevin Kelly says, is that some kind of veiled threat? What the fuck do you think? Again, WWF's got to spoon feed you. Did he just threaten him?
I was just going to say, I'm sorry, did he just threaten a wrestler?
So it's funny that you bring up, you notice the intro package to Raw and the fact that there's still a couple wrestlers in there. I just noticed this one. Apparently I didn't skip ahead fast enough that Hour 2, I've been calling Hour 2, is the War Zone. Goes to without saying.
Oh, yeah. I thought, every time you say it, for some reason, I'm like, maybe he says it. Yeah, no, it's Raw's War and then the War Zone.
Yep, because when you're past that hour now, you can be a little more loose with the verbiage. So we open up with Savio Vega.
I kind of wish it would be a little more. War Zone should be first. You play zone defense. You cut out the bad words. But Raw's War should be the. Never mind. Whatever.
Yeah. Meh. We open up with Savio versus Owen. DX is at the top of the ramp watching. Owen locks in the sharpshooter. He releases it to knock one Barriqua off the apron. He ends up winning right after with a roll-up, so that made no sense. He heads up the ramp to go after DX, but he gets jumped by the Barriquas. They drag him up to Triple H. They slap him around a little bit, and then HBK pays off the Barriquas. Way to go. Pay off the Puerto Ricans for beating people. Good way to send that message.
Wow. I wish that was the only racist thing that's about to happen.
Oh my God, I forgot all about it until you just said it. Oh God.
Jesus. I swear, I was like, that's pretty bad.
All about it.
But hang on, it's going to get better. Not really.
Paul Bearer goes to the ring. He looks disheveled. His shirt's untucked. He
Hang on, just so you know, a good chunk of the reason that one of my favorite pictures that I've sent you this week for logo is Paul Bearer, the intro to still to come, his interview, him with the me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I like this picture.
It looks awful. He looked like shit on purpose. Obviously, they did a good job. He basically says, Taker, I hope Shawn Michaels destroys you at the Rumble. And it's because of Taker that I lost Kane. Because he's lost Kane because after the little face-to-face and joint forces of clearing the ring last week, Kane has left Paul Bearer. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Bros before manager hose.
Yeah, there you go.
It didn't work.
Move
on, please, before people get upset.
We get a camera backstage, and you can hear Austin. He comes out of one of the locker rooms, and it's the Headbangers looking over Mark Henry, who is down on the ground. Mark Henry's been jumped more backstage than he's wrestled since he's been in WWF.
I want his job.
Right. That means you got to make out with Mae Young, though. Or Moolah. Whoever it was.
You notice my head was bobbing back and forth. I'm like,
bro.
Okay,
bro.
But,
not Prime Moolah. Shitting herself after Devon power bombs her through a table.
But I'm saying, likely no teeth.
Oh, God.
Right.
Okay. Next, we get a video package. It's all about the Tom Brady, Mark Marrow saga, with Sable sprinkled in there. And naturally, we get Mark Marrow versus Tom Brady for the culmination.
I used to be sincere, but now I'm just Tom.
Boo! That actually, I give that one a 6.
Hang on. It was actually, I was going to say, because that's what the whole thing is based off of.
Yeah, pretty much.
The entire feud started with him going, you know what? That's not your name. Okay, well, guess what? If we want to get down to it, you were never Johnny B. Bad.
Oh, there you go. That's actually a good point.
And this up-and-comer is already banging your fucking wife, dude.
Probably.
Go ahead. Get in his face.
Probably. We get Sable chance at the beginning of the match. Marrow takes a bump to the floor and lands on Sable. Runs her down. Brandy makes the save, helps her up, but then Marrow, gets the advantage there. Marrow hits a TKO. He goes for a second one, but Austin runs in and hits a stunner on Marrow. And it's great because Austin gets out of the ring, he stops, he looks at Sable and smiles, and Sable kind of gives that little smile back as he heads to the back. So she probably... Fucking Debo too?
Debo too?
Okay.
Is this my favorite part?
It's your favorite part. It's the reason why we...
Okay, I'll bring it up. Let me start it. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this evening, I would have loved to bring you a great little segment with Sam Kinison, Rodney Dangerfield, followed up by the Professor's Wrestler of the Week. I have honestly been a very big fan, man, for a long time of this guy. And the fact that he has gone from wrestler to a character to wrestler and a road agent and a wrestler again and revitalizing his career.
We put him over all the time.
All the time. So first, the opponent, Flash Funk, comes to the ring. And they're saying, ladies and gentlemen, up next is going to be the artist, formerly known as Goldust. Now, I've seen this guy wear the Madonna cone titties. I've seen him come out wearing a big blonde wig. Shit, we've saw him as Santa, all that shit,
A baby.
right? A baby.
Hey, baby.
I got a kiss to feed.
Gun store, liquor store, gun store. Where the hell are you taking me?
I still love that one. I got a kiss to feed. Hey, baby, go home. All right, no, but for real, Dustin Rose, the artist formerly known as Goldust, comes out with an afro wig and straight up the darkest of blackface and one jive looking suit, if we'll call it at that. I mean, whatever you want to say. And the entire time you're going to think that this is messed up, but I had to, because this is where my mind was going. I was like, okay, you know, there's this thing where back then, I'm not saying it was okay, not okay. What I'm saying is it took a long time for society to be like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. Right? Right? So now I'm looking at it in the 2022 eyes. Watching 1998, I couldn't not watch the crowd. I was looking for every person. I'm like, I want to see everybody's reaction. And there were some people that were just like dead stare, like, oh, this shit should probably end soon. Like, very pissed off looks, and I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I still can't believe, like, that some of the things that they pushed, and they were like, what are they gonna do, pal? We have titties, we have blackface, we have wrestlers, we have it all. It's really fucking weird, man. And watching this whole thing, by the way, wrestling a black man, Too Cold Scorpio, Flash Funk,
Yeah, that was
like,
the part.
I want to...
Yeah.
I need to exit out of this goddamn segment as quick as possible. So, speaking of wanting to exit the Monday Night War segment that was going on, well, I was done doing any research for the week, and I was goddamn just shocked when I got to it to see that it was Dustin. I was like, nah, is this what you're doing this week? We're going to have to pull you out. And as you said, likely for a couple months, maybe at best. Maybe a year or two. I do like when he shows up in WCW as 7.
Oh, God.
Yeah, oh, by the way, I'm 7, and that's what they named me, and I look like Uncle Fester. That's when we'll bring him up. That'll be his wrestling.
That'll be the revival,
okay.
yeah. Fucked up thing?
I think I've pretty much given you everything you need to know about the entire match. I don't think it matters win, lose, or draw.
No.
Luna was there at ringside.
Worst thing about it is it ain't the first time in WWF, and it ain't the last.
So okay, god damn it. All right, I got to push farther. Because I'm me. You take out Roddy Piper's half a black face and body from WrestleMania 6. I watched this on the Peacock because it was convenient on the TV, as I told you.
They didn't take
you
it
know
out.
What I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, that was straight up there. And I'm like, so why one versus another? I don't get it.
I don't either. Probably because people are familiar with one as opposed to the other. This is a forgotten thing. You know what I mean? Probably.
I'll be writing a letter.
Jesus Christ. We got a quick video package of Steve Blackman out of nowhere. No context. They just show it, and that's that. Then we get a recap of Chainsaw Charlie's debut from last week. We get the New Age Outlaws versus the Headbangers. The Godwins come out to the ramp. Outlaws end up getting the win, but Funk and Cactus run down, and the Outlaws powder. Yeah, you see I say Funk, because I'm not going to say Chainsaw Charlie every fucking time. It's Terry fucking Funk.
His mama named Funk. I'm going to call him Funk.
I'm going to call him Funk. Next, we get a video package teasing the negotiations with Mike Tyson. We get our interview with Don King. It says, we're not quite there yet, but I want you to see the biggest extravaganza, WrestleMania and Mike Tyson. Vince McMahon and I, Vince McMahon and I, Vince McMahon and I. He literally said that 3 times right in a row.
I hated every second of it.
Yep, pretty much. We had a quick look back at Shawn Michaels and Undertaker and Hell in a Cell, hyping up their match coming up at the Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels comes to the ring, cuts a quick promo on Taker. You hear the gong. Casket once again rolled out by Druids. It's the same one with all the DX spray paint all over it. Shawn Michaels, he goes over to him, he goes, I thought Triple H and China could have been more original. Keeps knocking on the casket. He goes, okay, break. I didn't say the magic words, break it down. Then China and Triple H show up on top of the ramp. Triple H is signaling to Shawn Michaels. And Shawn over the top as always. Well, if you're up there, then who's in? Naturally, you know what happens. Taker pops out. He grabs Shawn Michaels, pulls him into the casket. The lights go out. We're out of here.
A lot of staring at China's.
Yeah, I didn't even get. Yeah, that's still happening. Yeah, that's still happening.
But like hardcore, but like to the point where Shawn was actually making China break.
She kept smiling, and she would be like,
she was smiling, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Up here.
Yeah, it was cool to see her break a little bit because she normally doesn't. So it was, I liked it, but yeah, sexist. Sexist.
Well, see, it's a fine line now, though, because nowadays, if she was all into it and she didn't mind, then hey, more power to you, girl, right? Girl power. Titty power. No?
Titty. All right, we're going to move on.
Moving on to Nitro. They're in Atlanta, Georgia, so hot crowd here. Well, we open up with 2 black limos pulling up to the arena. It's the NWO, but they're in separate limos. Hall, Bischoff, Macho, Hennig, Rude, and limo number 2. They don't look so happy. Bischoff whispers something to Scott Hall as they're walking in. This is where things go haywire pretty much for the whole episode, and you can easily give this victory to Raw. We get a recap of the main event from last week. Remember where it goes off the air right after the ref bump?
Oh, yeah. Believe me. I remember.
Fans, the cameras were recording. We got it all on film, but we can't show the footage due to a court injunction.
Go fuck yourselves.
Sting retained the title. Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, no, they straight up said it. They straight up said it. They're like, Sting retained.
But we still can't show it to you.
We can't show it to you. Well, Gene's on the ramp with J.J. Dillon, asks who the champ is. It's Sting, as it stands at the moment. He apologizes for the show running over, but both the NWO attorneys and the WCW attorneys both want the tape so they can analyze it and see who really won. But currently, the tape is with a judge, and it will be released within 24 hours. Conveniently, our new show, Thunder, will be premiering this Thursday, and we're going to show the conclusion of the match then, and from there we'll determine who the champ is. This sounds really fucking overconvoluted.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this because it's something that I actually did a little extra digging for myself on too. I was like, okay, I'll watch.
Oh, no shit. All right.
Shouldn't have.
So next we get Jericho versus Diamond Dallas Page. Jericho comes out with a chair and a jacket and a dry cleaning bag. Gets on the mic. Apologizes for freaking out last week. One of the fans yells, "You suck!" He's doing a really good job. And again, I'm going to give him credit for his old shit. He's doing a real good job where he's doing that snide. He's putting himself over by apologizing. He gives the chair, and it's a tuxedo jacket. He gives it to David Pinzer because, that's what happened. And at one point during the match with Page, he heals it up because he keeps going for handshakes. And then he starts using it to his advantage to pull Page in. DDP naturally gets the win, and Jericho snaps again. He's definitely starting to head that way.
Which is what you hear in the early part. I like this part. I remember this very well.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You should be pissed off if you're on a losing streak, man.
Absolutely. All right, and it's funny because, when they do it in the Monday Night Wars documentary, they make it seem that all that frustration was taken out on the NWO, and so far, no, nothing. So,
no, just the local or the ringside posts and tables and shit. That's it. Just inanimate objects.
Yeah. We get Mean Gene back on the ramp with a WCW Executive VP and legal counsel Nick Lambros. Said they're meeting with Turner Executive Committee after the near riot in Baltimore last week. All WCW contract wrestlers violating WCW policy will be fined and or suspended, or both. But since Nitro is a WCW program, that applies to the NWO wrestlers as well.
I don't know what that means. It's very confusing.
Because kayfabe, pal, WCW runs Nitro, and NWO do not have WCW contracts. But since it's a WCW show, the rules still apply to them. It was ass backwards.
Means everyone can go on both shows, is what we're saying at the end of this all.
Pretty much, yep. Up next, we get Bill Goldberg versus Stevie Ray. They show Chief Jay Strongbow in the crowd. There's a fucking throwback. This is a squash. Goldberg is actually starting to go over now. They're definitely pushing the undefeated streak. I wonder how long it is before Bill gets dropped from the name.
Oh, Billy boy.
Next, the match I could give less than 2 shits about, but I just love the connections. Next, we get John Nord versus the Barbarian. For those of you who don't know, John Nord was Berserker and the Viking in WWF. Huss! Huss! Huss!
Would you like to suck my cock, Berserker?
Now,
do you want to make fuck Berserker? Wow, dude. Clerks has come up many times today between
it's been a Clerks heavy episode.
The snowballing effect of Noah and this. Wow, we may get a hat trick somehow.
If it's natural, we'll make it happen. The best part about this is he's fighting the Barbarian, who's with Jimmy Hart, but John Nord wrestled as the Barbarian in the AWA with Jimmy Hart as his manager.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, huh?
This is like a quiz of all quiz of matches.
See, I do research too, bro.
Okay, that's cool.
They're using this match to basically tease that there's more new talent.
Easy, son.
They're teasing that there's more new talent coming into WCW. And Nord actually gets the win. I wasn't expecting that. So next we get Gene in the ring with Eric Bischoff. Gene intros him as the man who lost the rights for Nitro. Calls out commentary saying there's no rift in the NWO. Crowd's booing. Bischoff threatens to leave. He's getting pissed off. He says, Judge doesn't have any footage. Ray ain't coming home. WCW has it. They just don't want anybody to see it. He puts over the fact that he beat Zbyszko, really. Gene says they have the footage and they'll show it. Zbyszko gets up. Crowd pops. And Bischoff runs between his tail tucked between his legs.
I am hating everything about this show.
Yeah, it's not looking so great here. Next, you get Psychosis versus Juventud Guerrera. If you want a halfway decent match, Juventud wins. He's going to be facing Ultimo Dragon on Thunder for the Cruiserweight title. Now, as much as we get tired of the throwback sometimes, I did like this. If you remember back in April of 1997, there was a little bit of rift between Kevin Nash and Hollywood Hogan. And they replay that, kind of leading to what's going on now. So, again, throwbacks and, callbacks can be a little annoying at times, but I think this was a good one given everything that's unfolding on the show.
No, you know what? I think they're doing a great idea here. You know what you should do is the week that WWE is doing a bunch of recaps and shit, you should have a fake-ass title match that leads to nowhere, and then the opening week of the year, you should be like, hey guys, would you like to see what happened in fucking April?
Made the connection. Anyway, hour 2. You get Gene on the ramp.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Hour 2.
All right, yeah. I'm okay.
Gene's on the ramp with Booker T. talking about his win over Disco to claim the TV title. But yeah, basically, can you dig it, sucker?
I knew that you could.
And then Booker ends up taking on Prince Ikea for said TV title. Booker retains. Next, we're continuing the NWO versus Steiners and Ray Traylor. This time it's Buff, Scott Norton, Conan. I just want to take this moment to say Scott Norton should be more appreciated. He never really did anything of substance, but man, he was so good.
I've always loved Scott Norton, man. It's one of those guys that's like, well, you know, that's why he was accepted in New Japan.
Oh, yeah. He was a brute.
Yeah. Knew his craft.
Yep, 100%. We get to see the Steiner screwdriver. I don't know if we've seen it yet or if it's just not used that often. But they make a point to mention that basically the Steiners were going to go for the finish, but something happened to Rick, and Scott just ended up winning the match by himself. They made sure to hammer that point home that, you know, it wasn't a tag team victory. It was Scott just winning the match.
I am now remembering, Jesus, as we're watching this, why all this is going on. Okay, let's go. Do you remember?
Remember that? Remember what?
Where this is all leading to?
Oh, yeah.
Steiner Bros.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They start making out with each other.
April.
All right, let's go.
Jesus fucking Christ. Dun. Incest. Next you get...
That'd be a great name of the show.
Remember, we can't do the we can't, you know.
I can write it out.
No, please don't. Next, we get Brad Armstrong versus Rick fucking Martel. I gotta say, I popped for a second just to see him back on TV.
Right?
That was pretty fucking cool. And Martel wins with the Quebec Crab. More, again, just pushing that there's new talent coming into WCW. So...
I love it because I remember where this is all going and who he ends up feuding with. And I think that he was specifically brought into WCW for the upcoming feud when it happens. And we'll get there. But it's just huge fan of Martel.
Oh, absolutely. Next we get Benoit and Mongo versus Saturn and Riggs. Crowd pops for Benoit and Mongo being back together. Benoit's the hot tag. Second verse, same as the first. Benoit locks in the crippler, ref distracted. Raven hits DDT. Saturn gets the pin. Next fucking slide. Yep. Next we get Mean Gene in the ring with Ric Flair. Flair says Sting is the champ. Title's red hot. Lots of people want it, including Bret Hart. He's been rubbing me the wrong way for several months. He calls himself the best, but the Nature Boy is here. Bret's music hits. He comes to the ring. They shake hands. And Flair just keeps kind of poking the bear. He's like, people want you to say your catchphrase while I'm here in the ring. Bret does that shit-eating grin. Well, what's that you're talking about? And then he says it. The best there is, the best there was, best there ever will be. Woo, he says the woo at the end of it. Flair takes his jacket off. He goes, say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
No. Say it to my face.
He does. And Bret goes, if you got a problem with that, too bad. You can say you're better than anyone else in the record book. In your heart, you can't think that you're better than me. You believe it? Say it, you're better than me. Hart takes off his jacket, and then Bret Hart goes, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I think I've already done it once before. That was
a solid promo,
that was
man.
A solid promos.
You would think right here they're about to make Bret champ and they're going to move on and make this company have a huge turnaround against WWF. Let's see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Let's see what turns around.
Flair did have a nice little zinger at the end. He points to himself. He says 13 times. He points to Bret. He says 5 times. You got a ways to go. Thought it was good. Hey, hey, come on.
Just means you lost at 12-13 as well.
Right. Macho versus Luger is our main event. Dylan's in the ring. Both Randy Anderson and Nick Patrick are there after Macho before Luger comes out. And J.D. Dillon says there's going to be a change in officials. Nick Patrick's being removed. He's suspended until the tape is reviewed. Bischoff runs in, chases Dillon to the back. Luger gets the win with a roll-up. Macho accuses Randy Anderson of a fast count. He beats down Luger post-match. Macho has a chair. He attacks Pinzer with it. Pinzer can't catch a fucking break lately. Bischoff comes out to take the chair away from Macho. Macho just turns around and blasts him. Hogan runs down. He takes the chair. They shove back and forth. Nash comes out. Right as he comes out, Macho slaps Hogan, and then Nash decks Macho and goes to the back. Hogan's all pissed off. He's telling the remaining soldiers, Luger's the enemy. I suggest we take him out. Norton and Buff come to the ring, but Sting runs in. Fans, we gotta go. And they start brawling as they go off the air.
Motherfuckers. And do you want to hear about the nut pulling job that they did on the first night of Thunder? So I was like, okay, all right, I have Peacock at my service while I'm in this Airbnb, so I will dabble. So I put on the very first ever Thunder episode. And do you want to know what they tell me we're going to be seeing tonight? Not only the conclusion of what happened between the match of Sting and Hogan at Starrcade, but the conclusion of the match with Sting and Hogan on Nitro.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be showing you Eric Bischoff versus Larry Zbyszko in its entirety from the pay-per-view. I go, fuck you. Nope, I'm done. I turned it off right there. As soon as they listed everything, I'm like, are you shitting me? I just turned into your new episode. At least I will give you that when SmackDown aired its first time, I was like, they came out with new set, new everything. It was, I mean, you want to keep some storylines going, fine, but they were like, and this is going to be our new recap show, everybody.
Well, it's funny because not only that, but you think about there's 2 new wrestlers that debuted on Nitro tonight, and they're saying there's been an influx of new talent in the WCW. Yeah, because you just started another show, and your fucking main eventers aren't going to work it.
Good night, folks.
Good night, folks.
I love it. I don't. We're going to have to make some decisions, though. Honestly, like, do we dabble here and there in Thunder if it's needed, or just never really touch base on it, act like it never happens? Because we're doing the Monday Night Wars. But then if that's the case, when SmackDown hits a 99, we do or don't. Yeah, we got some decisions, my man. Maybe we should do it off air, not on the air. All right, let's go to the top topic.
Yeah.
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 Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for...
Best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Hold 2, arm bar.
Sodas rule. Yeah, they do.
Hold 3, the moss covered, 3-handle family gradunzel. It's me, Austin.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something, Mean Gene? John Cena.
Wrestling's not fake.
The Rolex wearing one. Diamond ring wearing one. Kid stealing. Woo. Wheeling dealing. One. Limousine riding. One. Jet flying. One. Son of a gun. Woo.
Sierra Hotel. India. Echo. Lima. Delta. Shield.
If you smell.
The following ranking order and final decisions are a completely bias-based order, based off The Professor and ODM made it. And as always, they like to let you know they have not worked in the business, but have been lifelong invested fans much like you, our listeners. With not only their opinions involved, but with countless amount of hours of research done each week, they make sure to provide proper facts and history to back it up. However, they do know that your opinion may vary from theirs. If there is anything you want to chat about, bring to their attention. If there is something they missed or forgot, or you just want to let them know they are out of their freaking minds, feel free to shoot them a message on Facebook or Twitter, or email them at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com. As always, they do appreciate all feedback and continued support. At the end of the day, they want to make sure that you do see the best of the best before you die. And now, this week's top topic.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the year of 2022. That is right. It is the first time that for our top topic, we are doing the Top of Wrestling Awards Show 1. We'll call it the first. That's what it is. And next year, we're going to be doing it again when we start tearing apart 2023. But here we are today. We have 20 huge categories that we are going to be breaking down. ODM. As you're seeing next to each category, Yeah, I think you might be able to figure this out. Ladies and gentlemen, the best part about the Top of Wrestling podcast is that we get some great interviews, we have some great segments, we have some great moments, and for our first ever award show, we have some huge guests that are going to be here introducing each and every one of the categories. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 1 here for our first category. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as he introduces the Rookie of 2022 award, Scott Hall. Oh yeah, welcome to a new game. Let's go. Is on the fly, by the way. He had no idea about this, but
no,
it's fucking happening. Here we go.
And you completely changed the order of the categories than they were.
No, I didn't. They're kind of the same.
They're not even fucking close.
Whatever.
Hey, yo.
Here we go. Number 1, you are... All right, ODM, do you want to give any special shout-outs to anything before we introduce Scott Hall?
I don't know what you want me to do at this point. First you wanted Scott Hall, now you're introducing me. Do you want me to read the nominees? Hey, yo, the nominees for Rookie of the Year 2022, Chico, Wheeler Yuta,
There you go.
Solo Sikoa, Logan Paul, Dominic Mysterio, and Butch. We're going to carve you up.
All right, good job. All right, we don't need to necessarily have you speak in this.
Well, thank God.
Character for the discussion of it. I mean, here's the deal. You and I are going to break down, obviously, who we really debate is going to be the one, but I think at each category we're probably going to be on the same page. I'm genuinely curious to see who your Rookie of 2022 pick is, because we're going to have to come up with our own answer at the end of this for a debate, but I think we're on the same page. Go ahead.
Solo Sikoa. Couldn't
agree more. From everything with NXT to SmackDown, a little bit of Raw, unstoppable, and they're making him look like the new Umaga. You know what I mean? The thumb strike to the throat, the running ass shot to the corner while you're on the ground, whatever you want to fucking call that. Yeah. I like Wheeler Yuta, and I think Logan Paul did have a great year, but not as many great, huge moments or dominating moments as Solo Sikoa. Butch, I think, he's been on the main roster a couple of times. I think he had a great showing of Brawling Brutes, but for here, Solo definitely took it. Oh, by the way, we did talk about it last week, but I'm not sure if you noticed there's a new shirt that you can get on WWE Shop. Help me, mommy, I won't last in jail. Dominic Mysterio's new shirt. Fucking A. So, as we do have upcoming for our next category, Manager of the Year, who better than Paul Heyman?
I can't do this. I don't even know how to do Paul Heyman.
The list is in front of you.
Oh, wait, is that your answer? Or is that who you wanted me to do the impression of?
No, I want you to do the impression of Paul Heyman, you dickhead. I'll do Paul. My client, Brock Lesnar, could beat the following managers. See, you should sound like that.
You gotta give me more.
You have a chance.
You
fucking
got
this
me
whole
in a
thing
box
up, man.
here.
That's the whole point. I was trying to throw you off, make you feel uncomfortable.
I'm still heady from the sinus medication, man.
Yeah, that's what you should blame it on.
Yeah.
All right, man. True, then the impressions are out the window. God damn. You disappoint me.
I can try. Get in line.
We're gonna have to change the intro. Says you're at our impressions. All right. Manager of 2022. This one, it's a funny goddamn category. You wonder why? Who's really managing anybody at the end of the day? Paul Heyman barely managing the bloodline. I think Roman's got that shit under control on his own. But he's a part of this category. We got Mark Sterling. We got Stokely Hathaway of The Firm. You got Daddy Ass. And you got William Regal, who has just exited from AEW. I mean, I think I have an idea who I want to go with Manager of the Year, just based off of the crew. But what do you got?
I've got William Regal. I'll tell you why. Short-lived, yes. Didn't really need to do much. But just seeing him be there and demand attention. And, just to make the presence known. Mark Sterling, you're a joke. Like, literally, you're a
please
joke.
don't bother defending that one at all.
Stokely Hathaway, sure, but I think we need to see more. Paul Heyman, like you said, didn't need to do anything. And Daddy Ass, again, it's comedy. He's not even a manager. He's more of a sidekick. William Regal seemed to be...
Did he not give the Acclaimed a little bit of a rub?
Sure, but, I don't consider that, again, that to me, that's just a sidekick. That's like adding Spike Dudley to the Dudley Brothers boys.
Okay, fair enough. So, manager of 2022 definitely will be handed to the manager of the BCC, William Regal. The worst moment of 2022. Look at some categories have a lot, some have a little. Thank God this one only has 3 that are really, in my mind that we had to talk about. 3 worst moments of 2022. You have Ric Flair's last match, Vince McMahon's stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, and Ty Conti cannot unlock a padlock with a key. 3-way tie, I cringed at all. No. I gotta be honest with you. At the end of it, all right, the McMahon stunner was fucking funny. And so is Ty Conti.
We're talking about that shit was moment. Hilarious.
Yeah. What wasn't hilarious was Flair's last match. It was bad to watch. If you were like, hey, can we watch it one more time together? Nah, I'm good. I'm fine. We don't need to do it. So, I would definitely say Flair's last match of 2022 was the worst moment.
100% agree.
Beautiful. Well, let's talk about some real shitty moments here. The biggest flop of 2022. Now, right now, our flops that we have here that are lined up, you have a bunch of Veer promos that led to, I think he's on NXT.
He's
now?
on NXT, yeah.
Okay. B, Hook. How about Hook? Seemed like that was about to go to the moon, and then Wardlow for a flop of 2022. And we can break that down if we need to. D, Samoa Joe. I think he got better towards the very end when this whole list was being put together. But after being brought in, it's at the end of the pay-per-view in April. Not the best things done with him. He even lost the Owen Cup. And then E, for your biggest flop, well, CM Punk. I mean, everyone had nothing but the best of expectations for CM Punk being in AEW. Let's take the media scrum out of this. One stage dive changed the course of his entire career. That's it. That's all it took was one stage dive. So, let's revisit this for our flops of 2022. It's CM Punk and whatever push he would have had. Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Hook, and Veer. I will actually say your biggest flop when you go from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, my actual answer is going to be Wardlow.
Completely agree.
Oh,
that's
my
what I've
God.
got. That's
Love
what I've
it.
got. Yep.
Because, man, I mean,
where do we go from here?
One of the biggest moments, Revolution 2022, putting the ring, the Dynamite Diamond ring on the ring for CM Punk to use on MJF, was your big turning point.
Big pop.
He also won the match earlier in the night for a TNT Championship match. Wins the TNT. You were on a roll.
And what about that?
What the fuck?
That segment where he goes through backstage, knocking security guards halfway across the room.
The time I got 870 points off him beating 20 guys. I think that actually may have been the first big downfall. It's sort of like, all right, we're going to have you fight 20 security guards because we don't know what to do with you tonight.
Yeah, right. No shit. Yeah, that's a good call.
The best on the mic of 2022. 4 people in the category. We have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Jon Moxley, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins. There's a lot of people that really could be added to each and every one of these categories, but these are the standouts. MJF, it's one of those guys, as a heel, nobody can generally touch him. Moxley and Rollins are giving weekly promos, and Sami Zayn, goddamn, is giving the best stuff of his entire career at this point. So I'll let you go first. Best on the mic of 2022.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you're saying about the Sami Zayn thing. Even the Seth Rollins thing, it's just I'm tired of seeing him, so I don't want to pay attention. But listen, to me, it's a slam dunk. It's MJF. Fire me, you fucking Mark.
Yeah, I think he's had some good moments. But the problem is being away for a good chunk of time doesn't really help, I would say.
Sure.
For an entire year worth of promos. But at the same point, he speaks, you listen. And we're on the same page. It is MJF. I actually would have given second to Seth Rollins, to be honest with you. Because I think he's consistent. Whatever.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the document. I'm looking at some of the answers you wrote next to these. I don't know. Were you having a stroke or?
Oh God!
Are you just fucking with me?
These are the impressions I wanted you to do, you dickhead.
Well, again, you got to tell me this ahead of time here.
I did. I said these are your impressions.
30 seconds before.
You know what, man? You know how I work, all right, son? All right. The funniest
that's enough.
moment.
I can't take it anymore.
I quit. I quit this podcast. Call me son, you fucking... Funniest moment of 2022.
Like her panties.
One is Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. Just all of the shtick, everything from the handshakes with the Usos, my dogs, yeet, trying to fit in, just funniest moments. You can't discredit everything that Sami's done. B, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. Some great funny moments in that entire thing, but it also what it was supposed to be. Next is, to be honest with you, one of my favorite moments, I'm not going to lie. The part where Miz is about to leave the ring and Dexter Lumis just pops his head out from down below. God damn, that's funny, just the way they made him look. Problem is, everything that's been done from here, it's like, oh, there he goes. We got it. We see what you're doing. And the funniest moment of 2022, the final category, would be Brock Lesnar forklifting an entire ring. Never seen that before.
Agreed. Yeah.
I feel bad for everybody who was in that first row over there and all that one section. They're like, God damn, we don't even see how this match ends. For me, funniest moment of the entire year really is Sami and the Bloodline. I don't think that you could really fight that one too hard.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was too much consistency. Again, Zayn Knoxville, you knew what you were getting. It's Jackass, but it's in a wrestling ring. Okay, that's fine. Dexter Lumis. Lumis was hilarious just seeing the clip, but to me that's a YouTube clip, right? That's all that is. Right? There wasn't, more context. And Lesnar was definitely like, if we had a category that was OMG moment of the year, yeah, that might make it, because I remember I was actually watching that live. And it was crazy, especially since he fucked up at first and he pushed the ring like a couple feet towards broadcast and they all had to powder so they didn't get squished in case he fucked up.
Pat McAfee. I'm sitting in Kid Rock's lap. Actually, what I liked the most about that whole thing was when Lesnar...
That was a logo cover.
I'm trying to forget it. It was fucking... I remember it. But what I actually liked the most out of that was when Lesnar was standing on the forklift and threw the mic down and Roman caught it with one little catch to the side of his hip. Like it was... Like they planned that shit all week working on it. Like, and we're going to make this look slick as fuck. Like that was better than the whole match.
Yeah, seriously, right.
So, all right. I did have some a joke award in here at one point, and then it became apparent that it wasn't just one person. I had given the Hang It Up After 2022 award to one person over and over and over. But then as shit moved on, I was like, oh, no, I think it's becoming apparent with some people. First is Chris Jericho. Second, Sting. Third will be CM Punk, and fourth, good old JR. Why do I put... I think we're all on the same page with Jericho. I don't think we need to break that one down too much. Yep. Sting, God, after whatever pay-per-view match it was recently where he like flopped the entire ending. He's there for spots right now, and it's cool. The push for Darby Allin, I like it, but stop before it gets too bad, before we end up watching another stupid Flair match and you're in a t-shirt. I mean, well, never mind, he's already doing that. But CM Punk, shit, I think if at this point you've pissed off every promotion, you're pretty good at the Hang It Up After 2022 award, but maybe he hasn't. You know, kind of like Butabi said last week in the interview. God damn, could you imagine the biggest fuck you Triple H could do to Tony Khan is having Cody versus CM Punk at WrestleMania?
Yep.
Kind of fun.
Be fucking
not gonna
worth
lie. Yeah, I'd buy it. And unfortunately, Jim Ross. Only because, man, I'm sorry. Look at, in a wrestling day, wrestlers and guys having a wrestling match, you can call it no problem. The pace of a trios, 6-man bullshit, fucking elite versus death triangle, he doesn't know who's doing what, when, where, what's the name of it, anything. He just knows that Jungle Boy should be Jack Perry as well.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
All right, so let me ask you, man. Who's hanging it up after 2022, or should be?
Jericho, and he should get away from the business altogether. Go away.
It's funny, his thing about, I hope he's doing a work with the whole Punk is a cancer thing. 'Cause I'm like, you guys worked together, and he made you look really goddamn good in WrestleMania, as well as the next couple of pay-per-views that they worked with. And at the end of the day, what? You have to tell me one thing that Punk did wrong backstage, and all of a sudden now he's a cancer to it. What? Because he fucking brought up in a media scrum how a bunch of cunts who are running the as EVPs are doing some bullshit jobs. If you're thinking that's a cancer thing, then you yourself are a cancer if you didn't see a writing on the wall.
Yep.
Have another mimosa match. Oh, God. All right. Next award, commentator of 2022. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, Tony Schiavone, and your boy, Excalibur.
I'm insulted you even put him on the list. You could have left it at 4. You should at least put
Okay.
JR up there if you're going to do it.
I think you're going to be maybe shocked as to who I'm going to call our commentator of the year.
Yeah.
But me personally, it's Michael Cole.
I figured.
He's turned his career around. He's having fun. He doesn't sound like the most repetitive bullshit I've heard him say over and over and over. And he's in the moments more now. And I gotta be honest, man, just hearing him give a nod to Don West even more this week was like, damn, that's so cool. But, I mean, he said Pat McAfee revitalized his career. So I personally will give it to Cole, but unless you have anybody else.
Well, I mean, I don't think we need to come to a definitive. I think we're both entitled to our opinions. We can split it. We've been on the same page for the most part. But I like that you say that Pat McAfee reinvigorated his career, because I'm going with Pat McAfee. I think he's a natural.
I liked him too, man.
I think he's a natural.
He was.
He could play heel. He could play baby face. He would get super amped up. He'd get involved.
The way that he would get on the table when Nakamura came out. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's you know what? So we'll say the SmackDown announce team for a good chunk of 2022 is what the commentators of the year award. Did you happen to see during that Ohio Buckeyes game? He caught a field goal one-handed while announcing with a microphone right under the field goal post.
No shit.
That dude is the man. I love him. I'm sad that he's no longer doing stuff with WWE, and you know it's. Obviously, you're going to be more worldwide if you're going to be dealing with NFL than you are going to be, or ESPN than you are with WWE. But damn it, man, I already miss him being a part of the show. He's like his energy is that.
Yeah,
much.
it definitely sucks. But you know, maybe he'll make a special appearance every once in a while.
I could be okay with it. Promotion of 2022, and this is a debatable one because. You know, some started strong, ended horribly. Some started bad and ended great. But here we go. We have WWE, AEW, NXT, Impact, and New Japan. Go ahead, ODM.
You want me to go first, huh? Okay, well.
I absolutely do.
Well, maybe this will be a surprise. Maybe it won't be, but I got to go with the E.
Nope, not a surprise.
You know?
Most consistent. If you watch right now from WrestleMania 38, everything that they did, storyline-wise, wrestling-wise, booking, they don't stray from it. AEW has been at the fault of doing what everybody mocked WWE for doing, having a very shitty short-term memory. All of a sudden, it's like people are teaming together, they're not, their friends are not. It's like this past week, you had Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. It's like the 8th time I felt like Trent Beretta was going to be maybe a heel and not.
Yeah, or even relevant.
Woo, can I get a name, man? I'm going to go ahead and honestly, I agree, man. WWE was at least consistent throughout the entire year. Now, that's not to say that Impact and New Japan weren't. I think New Japan was decent, but I wasn't surprised with a lot of the results of their tag leagues, their cups, their G1 Climax, everything. I think WWE definitely had a way better year this year. You asked me last year, AEW killed them. This year, WWE won.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
So that would bring you to your number 10 award, TV show of 2022. You got Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, and NXT. Personally, I'm actually going to go with SmackDown. I think that they've had with the Bloodline, the consistency of stars, matches. It's on Fox. I feel like they push a harder storyline push on there than they do on Raw. Raw, they're like, well, let's dabble in and see if this works. So Johnny Gargano's back. You care? You don't? Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. But SmackDown's been consistent, so I personally think SmackDown.
Agreed. Same reasons.
Boom. Here's a good one. The WTF moment of the year. You have 3 categories. Thank God for that. Vince McMahon scandal. We did an episode on it. I don't think anybody needs to relive what that all was about. Although him falling off the steps and
that was insane
for Vince McMahon. We're great. The second one is he's just on a roll with getting these, racking them up. You know, some people get championship wins. Jeff Hardy gets DWIs. I mean,
how come Sonny's isn't in there?
I think I was a little more shocked that Jeff Hardy was in there, and I think I was more like,
okay.
I should have write WTF like, how come Sonny didn't have more this year?
Yeah.
And then the third category is the all-out media scrum. It shook a lot of wrestling airwaves, the IWC. We still have not seen Punk. I mean, Jeff Hardy, we still have not seen, and he's still dealing with the court issues. And Vince McMahon, thankfully, from what we feel like, is gone and out of the scenes right now. I want your opinion on this one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, so Vince, are you surprised that there was a scandal? No.
This is going to sound fucked. I think we both said this, but I think I was surprised that it took till 2022.
Yep, pretty much. It just so happens that the board didn't want the negative press, and it's probably because they're gearing up for a sale. So they kicked him off the board, because when you have a company like that, you have a board. You don't just get to run the company by yourself. So that doesn't really surprise me that much. It came out of nowhere. I guess
you're about to say the same thing with number 2. Like, are you surprised?
Jeff Hardy. Yeah, surprise, surprise. He got a DUI. That's a damn shame. I'm sorry to hear that. I thought he was better. I hope he gets the help that he needs.
You know what? The moment when I was there in Fort Myers, when he came out and decided to dance, I'm like, he's on drugs. He's instead of saving his brother, he decided to dance first.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. Well, I mean, to me, that's just stupid, because it's AEW and it's childish, and
I loved it. Honestly, it was the funniest thing is the memes that came out when you have to dance before you go save your boy in a fight.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the all-out media,
all right, and then the media scrum.
But the media scrum, you get Punk all bloodied and battered. He's got like a bag
hurt,
with like
old, working with children.
4 or 5 cans of what I'm assuming is sparkling water, or seltzer water, and a box of pastries. And he just starts eating
bakery.
He just starts eating pastries, calling out every asshole that he doesn't like and why he doesn't like them. That has to be the WTF moment of the year.
It is. But what's funny to me is that it's like everybody's like, he's like an asshole. You know, he wasn't screaming. He was
he did
sitting
maintain
back and chilling with some pastries in his mouth. I mean, he was pretty goddamn chill through the whole thing. Man, I'll rewatch that if you were like, hey, let's watch it right now. I'm in. I love it. I think it's hysterical, only because he just keeps going, I'm tired, and I'm working with fucking children. Takes a bite of the pastry and looks at one of the reporters. He goes, one bite.
You know, if he
has like the most groggiest voice. I'm like, have some more of that sparkling water, bro.
Yeah, right. Clear your throat a little bit.
Oh my god, it's good stuff. All right, this one has several categories, and hey, that's not a bad thing. Our 12th category, we have the best pay-per-view of 2022. We're going to give both nights for both Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania as a one night kind of thing instead of saying both. So you got WrestleMania, you got Wrestle Kingdom 16, Extreme Rules 2022, Revolution 2022, obviously they're all 2022, why would I have to say this? Double or Nothing, All Out, and Survivor Series. I want to give you a quick little glimpse so you understand of what each one had when it comes to the best pay-per-view. WrestleMania, you got Kevin Owens and Steve Austin. You got the return Cody Rhodes against Seth Rollins. We had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. We had Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Roman and Brock Lesnar. The Wrestle Kingdom, we had, basically it was, a night of multiple leaps and bounds to get into the title matches, because there was 3 Wrestle Kingdoms, one of them having Noah, but it ended up having basically Jay White and Kazuchika Okada, as well as we did have Okada and Will Ospreay. Extreme Rules, you had the Fight Pit match with Riddle and Rollins, you had the returning Bray Wyatt, and you also had the 6-man, oh my god, I remember, like bar brawl, whatever the fuck they ended up calling it.
Donnybrook.
The Donnybrook, which is fantastic. Revolution. Professor was there. That's where you got MJF and Punk in the dog collar match. You got Adam versus Adam. You have a triple threat tag team title match. You also got the first time with Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, where William Regal just shows up in the middle of the match because he read that it was pretty boring to all of us too. Anyway, Double or Nothing 2022. That had Darby Allin and Kyle O'Reilly. You had the Cup, the Owen Cup Finals, where you had Cole versus Joe and Britt Baker versus Ruby Riott, I believe. Yeah, because that's when Rancid brought her out to the ring. You had the Anarchy Rules match, and CM Punk dethroned Hangman Adam Page in the main event. All Out, Stokely Hathaway won the ladder match, only for MJF to be revealed at the end of the night. I took a nap. CM Punk and whatever, Jon Moxley had their match. We also had a tremendous tag team title match with Acclaimed and Swirly. A lot of great moments on that pay-per-view. And then, of course, Survivor Series. You had AJ Styles and Finn Balor. We also got a great match in both the women's and men's War Games, where Sami Zayn showed his true Uso-ness. He was very Usy that night. Lot of categories here, dude. Let me ask you, do you have any that stand out to you? I'm going to be kind of biased, but, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, well, I get it. You were there, so, I mean, that definitely makes it... Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to say WrestleMania.
Well,
I'm going to say WrestleMania, Saturday specifically. I thought it was a really good show. Had the most consistency.
Saturday specifically, so that would be Austin and Owens.
That would be Austin and Owens,
That would... Rollins, Rhodes. Okay, all right. Man, Pat McAfee, in theory, did have a great showdown. It was fucking McMahon. Threw everything off the next night. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have been there. I am a fan of Revolution because of just everything that was there, but also like I said, man, the build of Wardlow to winning the ladder match to passing off the ring to Punk. You had that. You had a lot of big moments there, but however, there was also floppy moments where people were like, we were all just chanting what was the funniest thing to say, Adam versus Adam. You know what I mean? Like, that's
I
actually will not disagree because WrestleMania, to me, I was jacked up and actually enjoying it this past year, and I think Saturday was a great night, so I will 100% side with you. that WrestleMania stole the show this year. Stable of the year. I mean, I really don't think we really need to go too deep into this. I mean, I think we both said on the count of three we'd have the answer.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Bloodline.
Yeah. I mean, we have Blackpool Combat Club, Best Friends, Jericho Appreciation Society, and the Firm, but come on, no one's more successful. The more championships, the most wins, the most TV time, if anything.
Yeah.
But an actual fucking stable where they're doing stable shit. Who would have thought? All right, feud of the year. This one, I think, is going to be kind of interesting because each one only just took part in certain parts of the year, but which one was more impactful? You got CM Punk and MJF. That started off the beginning of the year, even at a tiny little dabble of it at All Out, you know, when you really think about it, because that's what it was supposed to be before the media scrum. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Of course, they had WrestleMania and SummerSlam confrontations. Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston. They had the Revolution match, and then they also had their crews going against each other in Anarchy Rules, because that would also bring into the Blackpool Combat Club deciding to feud with Jericho Appreciation Society afterwards, with the Ring of Honor title, Claudio Castagnoli and everything. And then you have Sami Zayn trying to win over the heart of Jey Uso. Gotta be honest with you. You want to go feud of the entire year? I personally like Jey Uso and Sami Zayn because it's at least consistent. At least it's new. They're doing different things as opposed to, well, this week instead of Bryan Danielson and Claudio against Jericho and Sammy, it's going to be Sammy and Jericho again. Never mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to say, wow, they don't repeat anything. I remember in their 2-year anniversary, I read off nearly every main event and nothing was repeating. Do you have any idea how much of 2022 was just a fucking rinse, wash, repeat?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at it specifically, but I'm guessing I'm going to fucking find that, yeah.
So what do you think is feud of the year?
Yeah, my thing is with the Sammy and Jay, it's not really a feud. It's more like bad blood. You know, it's part of a story. I personally think CM Punk and MJF was a great feud. You know, the verbal back and forth in the match that culminated the whole thing. It was good from T to B.
I don't know what that means.
Top to bottom.
Just kidding. I got it. 15. Here we go. The good shit of 2022. Several categories, but a lot of good stuff. And I'm going to work my way backwards here. We got Saraya returns to wrestling. Cody Rhodes returns to WWE. Triple H resurrects the WWE. You know, I mean, from everything that was going on with Vince and turning things around and bringing people back. MJF finally wins the AEW title. Bray Wyatt returns to WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin has a very true send-off at WrestleMania with the right kind of match. Fire me, you fucking Mark, from MJF. And Triple H retires, wrestling-wise, at WrestleMania 38, leaving his boots in the ring in the very beginning. Good shit of 2022. ODM.
You know, it's funny. You're happy to see somebody. You like what you see. You get tired of them. They go away. And then they come back and you're like, holy shit, that was awesome. Cody Rhodes returning back home, if you want to say. Was a great moment. And I think it's going to be even greater when he comes back.
I thought you were going to say, I swear to God, I thought you were going to say Triple H.
Oh, no?
I swear. You're like, kind of like, you know, you get sick and tired and they're always around. And then they come back. I'm like, well, he nearly died. Yeah. And you're like, and Cody fuck. Well, never mind. We're not on the same page. I was thinking about Triple H. To me, I actually kind of liked the fact that he did nearly fucking die with everything that was going on with his life. You know, NXT was his heart being ripped from him.
Right.
Opens up a WrestleMania dropping his boots in the ring. To me, I thought it was very, very cool. But you want to say the biggest good shit of the moment, good shit moment of the year, you really can't deny that Cody Rhodes, the pop, everything that happened, that really was the biggest good shit of the year. I liked the Triple H moment. The MJF moment was great for 36 hours.
Exactly.
And then that was it.
Yep.
You know, people were still reeling from the Cody thing, being like, oh my God, what does this mean for AEW? That was a big crossover at this point. Yeah, so Very, very big moment. That was the good shit. This one we've debated recently. Number 16 for our awards here. The tag team of 2022. You have Swerve in Our Glory, or as we like to call them, the Swirly. The Hardly Boys, the Young Bucks. Scissor Me Daddies, the Acclaimed. Dem Boys, Briscoes. The Ones, the Usos. And fuck the Revival, FTR. Man, oh man, I think we may disagree, but maybe we'll be on the same page. I'm just jumping in and saying it. You have to be on TV completely all the time if you want to be a tag team and compete as a tag team. I give it to the Usos more than anybody.
Yeah, it's cool when you have 3 different sets of tag titles from different promotions because you are legitimately respected by the wrestling business and well-deserved for doing so. But ultimately, the Usos have made more of an impact. It's sad. I want to say FTR because I like FTR better. But they're not the tag team of 2022, unfortunately.
They've had more.
Not through any fault of their own.
Way better matches.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Great matches.
100% better matches. But that alone is not what we're judging this on. And, it's not through any fault of their own. It's just they're signed by a company that doesn't book them.
Agreed. So we move into our last couple of categories here. We have the Female Wrestler of the Year. You got Bianca Belair, Serena Deeb, Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. Kind of a feeling I know where you're going to go with this.
Think so?
And I have a feeling yeah. And I'll be honest with you, we're going to probably disagree, but let me guess, you're probably going to go with Bianca Belair.
Yep.
I knew you would. I got to be honest with you. Personally, Serena Deeb. Not just because we're some professors, but she came and elevated the wrestling game and a lot of these wrestlers on this show. I think that she put some better matches on than Thunder Rosa did, than Britt Baker, and a lot of those ladies in AEW. And I think that she is underrated and unspoken of more than she should be.
Yeah, she wrestles a lot. She wrestles well. But, so does Bianca Belair. So.
All right, well, so I guess we're going to have to call that one a tie on this one. It's the only time I think we've really not physically, but had a real tie on this one.
Yeah, I mean.
Male Wrestler of the Year, I think will probably... actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
Same amount of people. We got Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay, Dax Harwood, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Josh Alexander from Impact Wrestling. Floor is yours, ODM.
I gotta give it to Dax Harwood. Because even though he...
Now, that one I agree on, because here's the deal. You can't be Tag Team of the Year because of everything that you've done, but what you have done and what I've noticed in your singles and tag team matches, soundly in the ring, man, no one's had a better year than Dax Harwood.
No, he's flawless. Makes everybody look like $1 million. He's good at what he does. He obviously loves it. And, even if you'd rather see him wrestle with Cash, if you get a singles match with him, you're going to see some damn good wrestling.
Fights like a 7-year-old girl.
Indeed.
I love that moment.
Yeah.
All right, man. 2 huge categories left. We got matches of 2022. And this one, I got to break down. I don't know which one you think is the better one, man. You got Podcast of the Year. You either have the TOW, you have the Top of Wrestling, or the Top of Wrestling podcast. Which one do you think was better?
I'd actually go with option D, which is at the Top of Wrestling.
Thanks, Little John. All right, here we go. We are talking matches of 2022. Now, look there's a lot more categories that are involved in this. We broke it down. ODM and myself talked about it. This is pretty much what we are presenting as your in order matches of the year. A lot of these, as we always say, could flop one to the other. But when we get to our top 10, the top 5, it really is very well researched. Many times these matches have been watched to make sure, and we've saw some great matches in 2022, so let's see which one was the match of the year. I'm sure you all have some in your mind that you already think is the match of the year. The honorable mention, and god damn it, I know ODM is already probably pissed with this one, but man, it's like you can't... Look at... If the Mimosa match was fantastic, I would be like, I love the Mimosa match, man, but I didn't. But Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay was just enough to make me go, fuck, it was a good match. It's like, I goddamn hate Orange, but it was good.
He can wrestle a good match every once in a while. The problem is it's every once in a while.
Yeah, sun shines on the dog's ass. All right, but that's just an honorable mention, so it means nada. Here we go. Number 25. It was the first Dynamite in January of 2022, and that is Hangman Page defending the title against Bryan Danielson in their second match. It's the one where I think Danielson was like busted open within like 20 minutes of the match. Good match. Number 24, you have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Seth actually came out in Shield gear for this, which I appreciated. It was a good nod, good throw. Yeah, it was awesome. You know, much like, well, we'll get into it soon. Number 23, you got Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, their last man standing match at SummerSlam 2022. Speaking of 22, is coming in at number 22, Pentagon Jr., or Pentagon El Cero Miedo Enomeno P. Nuevo, Jose Cuervo. All right.
I'm not even going to give you a boo on that one.
I'll boo myself later. He took on Villano 4 in a mask versus mask match, and I'll tell you, this is a fucking bloody brawl. And that was at AAA Triple Mania. Coming in number 21 was a trios tournament semis match between Death Triangle and United Empire. You may remember this one where Phoenix said, fuck it, I'm going to the 19th row through a dive in the rope. And it just, you know, cleared right into the audience. But the match, fantastic. And that was after when United Empire wins, when Omega comes out and starts talking shit to Ospreay. Oh, good moment. Coming in at number 20, I mentioned this one earlier, WrestleMania Sunday. It's Pat McAfee, showing that he's pretty much a better wrestler than a good chunk of the roster, defeating Austin Theory. Love that he came out to Seven Nation Army. It was just such a good moment. Number 19, at Battle Autumn 2022, Will Ospreay defended and retained the U.S. Championship against Tetsuro Naito. Coming in at number 18, Impact Under Siege, which happened in April, right around the same time as WrestleMania. Tomohiro Ishii came up short against Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship. Coming in at number 17, the match that wasn't even on the card, no one knew it was going to happen, and it pretty much stole the show. Kyle O'Reilly against Darby Allin at Double or Nothing. Darby nearly died in this match, but I think I could say that for pretty much every one of Darby Allin's matches.
Pretty much.
Coming in number 16, a match that ODM thinks it should never have made the list, but hey, you know what?
Yep.
You have to look at the broad scheme of things. You have to look at payoff. You have to look at storylines. Yada, yada. Boo me. Don't care.
Jackass.
But I am talking about Sami Zayn coming up short against Johnny Knoxville, WrestleMania Sunday. Come on, man. Wee Man giving him the power slam, or the body slam. You got the big hand, the bowling ball to the nuts.
I'll just watch Jackass.
Oh, whatever. Or just listen to the show. Coming in number 15, Wrestle Kingdom 16 brought this up earlier. It was Will Ospreay coming up short against Kazuchika Okada. Number 14 was a match that went like 57 minutes on Impact Wrestling, which is Speedy Mike Bailey coming up short against Josh Alexander. You want to talk about a guy who had a really good year wrestling-wise. He just keeps defending that championship and winning, and this was a damn near Iron Man match, and it was just for one fall, for the championship, and they went 57 minutes. That's cool, because most people, they're like, once you hit the 50 mark, you're like, it's going to be a draw. We can tell. Right. But good for you for cutting it just that short. Smart move. Number 13. Again, we've talked about it. He had his swan song, if you will. Steve Austin defeating Kevin Owens, WrestleMania Saturday. Number 12. I think out of all three of their matches, the first one was absolutely the best. They just failed to pull the trigger the right night. The Acclaimed coming up short against Swerve and Our Glory at All Out. But the tag team title match, that crowd, that Chicago crowd was hot and ready for that title.
Did you expect that you would give that much of a shit about that match before it happened?
Not until until maybe like 10, 15 minutes in. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
And it's funny because they also started the night being like, Keith Lee looks like Lizzo. So we were already mocking the shit out of everything with this. But to turn around and have a great match? Oh, a meatball sub later and I'm out. Coming in at number 11. FTR versus the Young Bucks, number 2. And that was on Dynamite in April. And this is where the Young Bucks were the tag team champions, but FTR came up short in this match, trying to regain the titles. We can go down that road a different ways to so many missed opportunities. Yeah, I still kind of blame Jeff Hardy, because who knows with what would have happened by things got changed, who got championships, Jurassic Express. You could look at that, but whatever. Number 10, the match that I don't think anybody was really ready to pay attention to, but goddamn, Street Profits put on a great show against the Usos at Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, you're like, all right, who's gonna win the ladder match? That's what really matters. Sure. And this tag title match was like, oh God, I don't want the Usos to lose, but Profits are really doing a good job in this match. Honestly, out of all the matches, if I was to recommend any out of this entire list, if you haven't watched, huge fan of that one. And there's so many good ones on this. Number 9, we just talked about it recently. It's the men's War Games match. That is Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, where Sami Zayn just saved the day for the Bloodline. Number 8, the first meeting between FTR and the Briscoes, which was at Supercard of Honor, which was spoiled by Nightwing. That match... Had to. What it was. Don't give me that shit. He did. All right. But FTR has the win over the Briscoes and become your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Then number 7, FTR is going to keep their role going because they defended and retained the New Japan Heavyweight Championship or Tag Team Championships against Aussie Open of the United Empire at New Japan's Royal Quest Day 2. Or Royal Quest 2 Day 1.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. That's what she said. Coming in number 6, one of my favorite matches. Same day as All Out, but different company. Clash at the Castle happened. Nope. I'm not talking about Tyson Fury. I am talking about Gunther retaining the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. It's like one of the first times I see a real big guy go against Gunther, and it was awesome. Because I'm always seeing like the little guys. You got Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, all those guys. Seeing Sheamus still get thrown around the same way or get his ass kicked, it was just awesome. But the standing ovation that Sheamus got at the end of it was like, and that is why you are you're a legend where you're at nowadays, man. Good for you.
Hells yes.
Great match. Talking about the heel mode. Coming at number 5, Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins to take on Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins comes out in polka dots. My polka dots, baby! Wearing the tank top and the pants and just wrestles it same way Dusty Rhodes did. God damn, that's good heat. Excellent heat. And Cody showed off the signs of No Nut November on a December 1st with his arm and his chest looking like he beat it a couple, 2-3 times. No, honestly, it was really bad. And I told you, I rewatched the match. Just ridiculous. I don't understand how someone could still take a hit with a kendo stick. Even if Rollins, where he was pushing it into his chest, like the tip of the kendo stick right into the chest, you see a little push of indentation of the muscle, which means there is actual pressure. I'm like, how? Without being on a lot of like alcohol and a bunch of shit, being like, I will just drunkenly get my way through this match. Let me Jeff Hardy Victory Road this match, and I will get this shit done for you. Cody's a strong son of a bitch, man. A lesser man would have been like, put someone else in for the night. Look, sometimes shit happens, and that's how we got AJ Styles and Finn Balor.
Look
right?
at my
you
chest.
You get injuries, you get sickness.
Right? Look at my chest. I'm not wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, I got this. And he took some sick bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 was the G1 Climax Finals, where Kazuchika Okada defeated Will Ospreay. I gotta be honest with you, thought Ospreay was gonna finally get the victory over Okada, and he didn't. This is one of those moments where you and I agree, it's like, well, where do you go? Like we talked about last week with what today's Wrestle Kingdom is. And maybe we'll see some good things out of that.
And that's the cool thing with the Okada matches, I feel like, especially now, there's always that glimmer of, man, is this dude gonna beat Okada? Because it feels like it's always there, right? It feels like they could really put this person over if they beat Okada, but, it's weird. It's like Jay White's the only one.
I'm a Jay White fan. Love Switchblade. The first time I ever watched him at Wrestle Kingdom where he took on Hiroshi Tanahashi, I go, okay, I'm in. I like this guy. And that was before he even joined Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. He joined Chaos for like 14 seconds the next day. But to me, I think Ospreay and Okada could have just as many great matches as he did against Omega.
Probably.
You know what I mean? I would like to see that. They've already had some great ones already. Mm-hmm. They had the 46th anniversary. They had a match. They had multiple G1 Climax matches as well as now Wrestle Kingdoms. Who knows? But now Omega and Ospreay is what's happening today, last night, whatever you want to call it when you're listening to the show. Maybe Omega wins the U.S. title, so Ospreay can maybe go on and really try to go after Okada. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there, nor anything about 2022. Now let's get into the last 3 matches. It's funny when you really look at how 2 of them set up, and it's like, I didn't mean for it, but life happens that way. Actually, either way you look at it. Okay, coming in at number 3 and at number 2 is FTR versus the Briscoes. Number 3, that's their 2 out of 3 falls match at Death Before Dishonor. That is the one where they main evented the pay-per-view, which I thought was really, really great. And then I thought they were going to do it again for what is their number 2 match here. The number 3 match between themselves, but coming in at number 2 for us, the double dog collar match. That match they just put in the middle of Final Battle.
Yeah, I don't get that, but okay.
But at the same point, the match got thrown out by the Gun Club 4 days before the pay-per-view, so I guess, that's where we're going to be at. Yeah, it was pretty shitty. But the match was still fantastic. Oh my God. It's funny because Dax Harwood, I broke my ass on that thing. He has a broken tailbone from landing on a bunch of chairs. But coming in at number 1, you and I did agree on this, thankfully, and it's not in a biased way because the Professor was at this pay-per-view in Orlando. But again, you look at your storyline, your payoff, your build-up, everything that it was, especially the Piper to Valentine and asking on Valentine's Day, the dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk. It was fantastic, and I don't think that any other match in 2022 had as high of stakes, the build-up, the reaction. Jesus Christ, him coming out to his old Ring of Honor thing was enough for me. Oh, my God. Incinerate! Oh, my God. I was like one of 6 people singing the song in the audience, and everybody's like, what the fuck is he yelling right now? I'm like, duh! Oh, hey! Everyone's like, oh my God, he's going down. But then it was the sign lady behind me. We'll get into her another day.
Oh, yeah.
No, man, honestly, great. It was a great year, for coming out of 2020, 2021 with a lot of downs, I feel like more than there were ups in the wrestling industry. I'm actually glad that I was able to talk about 25 really good banger matches this year that, like, any one of them really, really had a good chance of talking about being in your top 5. I'm not saying number 1, any one of them, but, like, even Death Triangle and United Empire on Dynamite has its moments where if you're a fan of trios matches, that shit was an amazing match this year.
Right.
And to the point where I was like, God, I really hate watching a tag match that has 0 tags and a lot of flippy dippies, but that was a good one.
Every once in a while you get one. Makes it worth it.
But that is the first ever Top of Wrestling annual awards for the year that was now 2022. Onward and upward. What's coming up next week? Next week we got a movie of the week, as well as we'll be talking more of the Monday Night Wars. We got news, and we will be breaking down what happened at Wrestle Kingdom 17. I am the Professor Mark Fantasia. Whoa. Let's back that up. Who am I? Whoa. I am the Professor Mark Fantasia.
Very good.
Wow. You know what? My head was way in advance. I said Mark Fantasia, and I wanted to say I bid you a farewell, and it's like, I'm Mark Fantasia very, very well. Jesus Christ, I can't wait to get to the Bills game. Kayfabe, pal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Professor Mark Fantasia. Thanking you guys so much for listening to the Top of Wrestling podcast. I bid you a farewell for the week, and ODM, because it's season 5, never ends, leaves us all with 5 words.
Didn't know you wanted impressions.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor, Mark Fantasia, and ODM, Joe Rizzo, with special weekly segments by Nightwing the Analyst, Rashawn Hilton. Without your continued support, it would just be some guys talking wrestling. Feel free to interact with the show on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com.
No, when I say sick, it's kind of like
I understand.
Kind of sound,
I gotcha.
But
Sick from a production standpoint. I know how your brain works.
Are you mocking my
your nerdiness? Yes.
Production?
Yes, your nerdiness. Yes, because I'm the same way.
You see, I'm white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerd? Hey, have you seen the movie Weird yet?